Chapter 2795. At that moment, Lin, Yi, and Chikuan bumped into the two who had just come downstairs. The Feng from before was clearly a warm-hearted man without the scheming of other practitioners. He greeted Lin, Yi, and Chikuan warmly. "Good evening, you two. You're also here for the test, right? I'm Feng Shipian. Pleased to meet you too." Lin Yi paused, thinking that this person was quite warm-hearted. He didn't have any airs of a sky class at all. What a weirdo. His name was even more so. Shipian? Why did he sound like a scholar? He didn't sound like a practitioner at all. And this person looked quite elegant as well. But this person gave Lin Yi a familiar feeling, as if he'd seen him somewhere before. Feng Shipian? Feng? Lin Yi suddenly remembered the Feng Nitian they were talking about, and his face changed. Yes, this person looked similar to Feng Nitian. Could this person be from the ancient house Feng? With that thought, Lin Yi became more cautious of this person. This person looked harmless, like a nice guy, but Lin Yi didn't just believe it on the surface. What if this person knew that he was the one who crippled Feng Nitian? Would he suddenly attack him? So it's Master Feng. Nice to meet you, Lin Yi said indifferently, not introducing himself. Who knew if House Feng knew that Ling Yi was Lin Yi? If they did, wouldn't they turn on him on the spot? Chikuan could tell that Lin Yi didn't have any intentions of getting to know them, so he just cupped his hands and didn't say anything. "You two, don't you want to have dinner together? I'll be the host." Feng Shipian felt the coldness from Lin Yi and Chikuan, but he didn't know what the problem was. He felt that he was being very warm, so why didn't Lin Yi see it? "No need, we just got here, and we need to clean up the room first. You guys go eat first," Lin Yi said faintly. All right. Feng Shipian did not insist. Everyone had their own aspirations. If the other party was unwilling to attend the banquet, there was nothing he could do. He could only leave with the people who had gone downstairs earlier. Lin, Yi, and Chikuan went upstairs. Chikuan was curious, but he didn't ask anything. If they could hear what Feng Shipian said before, then Feng Shipian would most likely hear what they were saying now. Chikuan didn't go to his room, but Lin Yi's first. That Feng Shipian seems to be from the same family as Feng Nitian. The two of them should be related. Lin Yi said, "That Feng Shipian seems to be from the same family as Nitian." Chikuan paused. Wasn't that right? The two of them looked similar. He had been with Feng Nitian during the Ice Palace test, so of course he had a deep impression of him. However, he didn't think much about it until Lin Yi reminded him, they really do look alike. Could it be that this person is here for revenge? That's hard to say. He might just be here for the test. Lin Yi said, "From the way this person speaks and does things, he seems a bit naive and inexperienced, but you can't judge a person's heart from his face. No one can be sure that this person isn't just a fool." "That's true. Just be careful." Chikuan nodded. Feng Shipian and the other person went to the inn's restaurant. There weren't any other restaurants nearby. Only this inn. "Feng bro, who are those two? They don't seem to be very sociable?" the person with Feng Shipian asked. He was a solo practitioner without a sect, and it was already quite a feat for him to be able to reach Earth class late phase peak. For a solo practitioner of this level to not be tempted by the common world to become a guard for some rich person, and instead he kept on training. So when Feng Shipian threw out an olive branch, he came over immediately. Sky class. Even though it was only early phase, it was enough for him to look up to. This person looked young, but he was already in his 40s. He called Feng Shipian bro, just out of respect. "I'm not sure, but it's normal. Many disciples of the ancient sects are very prideful, and they don't like to form cliques. After all, some of the ancient sects have conflicts with each other. It's impossible for their disciples to sit together peacefully," Feng Shipian explained. At the same time, the ancient Feng family was in an uproar. Feng Tianlin was sitting next to Grandfather Feng in the family meeting room, glaring at Feng Tianhu. "Feng Tianhu, What are you trying to do? You're hiding it from me, letting Shipian participate in the Sky Elixir test? Don't you know how dangerous that test is? Very few cultivators from the previous batches survived. Second bro, you're wrong. My son can participate in the Ice Palace test just because he's strong, but your son can't participate in the Sky Elixir test? What kind of logic is that? Feng Tianhu said faintly, plus Feng Sherpan is an early-stage heaven-class master. He wasn't allowed to participate in the Heavenly Elixir Sect's trial in the past. This time, the rules were relaxed. Why not let Sherpan get some benefits? Humph. Don't think I don't know that you're letting Shipian participate in the Sky Elixir test to get a third-level grade Huan Pill for Nitian. Feng Tianlin was furious. I didn't say that. I just told Shervin about the stakes. Shervin volunteered to participate in the trial of the Heavenly Elixir Sect to get medicine for his brother. Feng Tianhu said calmly, You know Shipian's personality. Of course, he wouldn't reject you. Feng Tianlin humphed coldly. His son, Feng Shipian, wasn't a bad person, he was a good person. Feng Tianhu said that going to the Heavenly Elixir Sex test would give him a third-level great Huan pellet to save his brother. He would definitely go. All right, what's with the noise? Stop fighting. Elder Feng finally spoke. It's just a test, isn't it? Shipian is an early-phase Sky class, and it's only right for him to train. Plus, it's our fortune that Nitian can recover, so why not? But Feng Tianlin wanted to say something but was interrupted by Elder Feng. Tianlin, Tianhu has his own plans, and he's afraid that you'll stop Shipian from participating, but if it were up to me, I would still let Shipian go, Elder Feng said. Elder Feng said, 1. If Nitian recovers, it'll be a great thing for our ancient house Feng. 2. Feng Sherpan is a Sky class master now. There shouldn't be any danger in the test. Chapter 2796. Lin Yi hid here, and although it looked safe, the spirit beasts below didn't notice him. But a spirit beast flying in the air noticed Lin Yi. It was an enlarged bat. Its body as black as ink with a pair of wings like a glider. On its head there was a sharp horn. After noticing Lin Yi, it charged towards Lin Yi, shocking Lin Yi. This was a mystic mid-phase bat, but fortunately, Skybolt Pig was a mystic late-phase peak spirit beast. GG. Skybolt Pig said something to the black bat. Ho. The black bat paused. When it saw Skybolt Pig, it didn't know why it was with a human practitioner. GG. Skybolt Pig and the black bat started talking again. The two spirit beasts talked for a bit more, and the black bat turned and left, but Skybolt Pig said to Lin Yi, GG. He then pointed downwards, signaling for Lin Yi to leave. What's going on? Lin Yi jumped down with Skybolt Pig, returning to the ground. Skybolt Pig rode on the ground. That black bat wanted to attack you, and I used my strength to force it to leave, but if we meet a higher-level flying spirit beast, there's nothing I can do. I'm afraid that the black bat will go back and call more companions, so we should leave this place as soon as possible. All right. Lin Yi nodded, a bitter smile on his face. This was the world of spirit beasts. How insignificant were human practitioners in this place. He wondered how Qi and the others were doing. GG. Skybolt Pig wrote on the ground again. Oh, you're saying that there's treasure over there? Lin Yi paused. Skybolt Pig wrote on the ground. There's treasure over there. GG. The Heavenly Thunder Pig nodded. Looking at what Skybolt Pig wrote, Lin Yi hesitated. His goal here was just to collect ingredients to trade for level 3 pills and to protect Qi along the way. But Skybolt Pig said that there were treasures here, and to be honest, from a logical point of view, Lin Yi didn't want to go. But since he was already here, Lin Yi wouldn't give up if he didn't check it out. Is that treasure very useful to me? Lin Yi asked hesitantly. GG. The Heavenly Thunder Pig nodded. Then let's go and take a look. Lin Yi gritted his teeth and said, However, if we encounter the herbs needed for the trial, Help me find them. GG. Skybolt Pig nodded, indicating that there was no problem. And so, one man and one pig headed in the direction Skybolt Pig had pointed out. He didn't know where to go to the safe spot on the map, and he hadn't confirmed the terrain yet. He might as well go to the place Skybolt Pig had pointed out first. Skybolt Pig's senses were sharper, and he would always warn Lin E if there were spirit beasts in the distance. Lin E wasn't in a rush, and he found a safe place to hide. But what made Lin E depressed was that he didn't get a single spirit herb along the way. There were indeed spirit herbs, but they usually grew near lakes and swamps. Those were the nests of spirit beasts, and Lin E avoided them all the time. How could he go and get one himself? Arriving at the trial grounds, Lin E finally understood why the Sky Elixir Sex trial had such great rewards. He had the Skybolt Pig by his side, and those without it would have a hard time moving forward. No wonder there were so few who survived, not to mention getting a spirit herb. Along the way, Lin E was terrified. After all, even if he faced a heaven-ranked master, Lin E wouldn't be afraid. Even if he couldn't win, he could still run, right? But spirit beasts were different. Some of them were extremely fast, and Lin E couldn't outrun them. Just like the black bat from before, its speed was comparable to that of a plane. In the blink of an eye, it appeared in front of Lin E, and Lin E couldn't fight against that kind of speed. But for some reason, Lin E didn't encounter any spirit beasts along the way. What made Lin E feel strange was that there wasn't even a single spirit beast, which made Lin E feel strange. Why aren't there any spirit beasts nearby? Lin E looked at Skybolt Pig strangely. GG. Skybolt Pig shook his head, indicating that there were no spirit beasts nearby. All right. Although Lin E continued to move forward, his heart was full of vigilance. After all, there must be something wrong with everything, and it was hard to say what would happen in front of him. Otherwise, why would there be so many spirit beasts before, but no spirit beasts here? After moving forward for a while, there was no more road in front of him. It was a rolling green mountain, and no one knew where it went, but it blocked Lin Yi's way. There is no more road in front. Where is the treasure? Lin Yi stood at the foot of the mountain, looked at the vast mountain range, and asked Skybolt Pig. Gigi? Skybolt Pig pointed at the mountain range with his claw. You mean, the treasure is on the mountain? Lin Yi asked. Skybolt Pig nodded. On the mountain. Let me confirm where this place is first, Lin Yi said, and took out the training map from his pocket. After walking for so long, Lin Yi had a general understanding of the terrain, especially the rolling green mountain in front of him, which was a landmark. Soon, Lin Yi found his location and the mountain range in front of him on the map. 5 Demons Mountain Range? Lin Yi was stunned, and his expression changed immediately. This was because this 5 Demons Mountain Range was marked as an extremely dangerous place on the map. However, the jade pendant didn't give any warning, which meant that the danger wasn't nearby. This map was a miniature version, so the place marked on it could be a few kilometers, tens of kilometers, or even hundreds of kilometers away. The danger might not be right in front of them. Skybolt Pig, I've confirmed our current location, but this map says that this place is extremely dangerous. What do you think? Lin Yi said, and placed the map in front of Skybolt Pig. Skybolt Pig looked at the map that Lin Yi handed over, and then looked at the vast mountain range. He was a little confused, and obviously he didn't feel any danger. But thinking about it, Skybolt Pig's specialty was that he could search for treasures from thousands of kilometers away, but his sense of danger was much weaker. At most, he could feel the presence of his own kind, but only in close proximity. Chapter 2797. Moreover, the heavenly elixir sex trial wasn't something that he could come whenever he wanted. He had to wait for the heavenly elixir sect to hold it, and he wouldn't be able to enter even if he came. Go! Lin Yi gritted his teeth. He knew that there was a tiger on the mountain, but he still went ahead. Since he was already here, How could he leave? Most of the time, Lin Yi sought wealth in danger. Without taking risks, how could he gain any rewards? Thinking of this, Lin Yi made up his mind and walked up the mountain. The mountain path was very steep and rugged. There wasn't a smooth path up the mountain. Obviously, not only was there no one going up the mountain, there shouldn't be any spirit beasts going up either. This showed that there was definitely some kind of hidden danger on the mountain. Otherwise, why wouldn't there be any spirit beasts nearby? Moreover, even if there weren't any land spirit beasts, there should be some flying spirit beasts, right? However, Lin Yi didn't see any. Although the mountain path was difficult to walk, it wasn't a cliff. Even if there was no path, there were still some footholds. With Lin Yi's qigong, going up the mountain shouldn't be a problem. Skybolt Pig, which direction is it? Lin Yi asked. GG. Skybolt Pig stretched out his paw and pointed in a direction not far away. Lin Yi nodded and carried Skybolt Pig forward slowly. After walking for a few hundred meters, Skybolt Pig suddenly squeaked again. GG. Skybolt Pig squeaked and pointed at a stone, hill not far away. Oh, the treasure you were talking about is here? Lin Yi asked, slightly taken aback. GG. Skybolt Pig nodded and then shook his head. What does that mean? Lin Yi asked curiously. GG. Skybolt Pig pointed at the stone hill and nodded. Then he pointed at the mountain not far away and nodded again. Oh, I get it. You're saying that there's treasure here and there's treasure not far from here, right? Lin Yi understood what the pig was getting at. GG. The Skybolt Pig nodded its head in satisfaction. Lin Yi quickly moved towards the stone hill. There was nothing special about the appearance of the hill. Lin Yi stretched out his hand to dig the hill, and the jade did not warn him, which meant that there was no danger here. It didn't take long for the mound to be excavated, and what surprised Lin Yi was that underneath the rubble was the skeleton of a spirit beast. From the outside, it was hard to tell what kind of spirit beast it belonged to. There were too many types of spirit beasts. Lin Yi couldn't even recognize the living ones, let alone the dead ones. In this pile of spirit beast bones, Lin Yi didn't need to search much to find the inner core of a spirit beast. It seemed like this was the treasure that Skybolt Pig was talking about. Now, Lin Yi had 6 inner cores of spirit beasts. One was given by Go Huli's lion, 2 were obtained from Wulong Hao mountain range, 1 was given by the Qian mountain sect, 1 was given by the ghost, and the last one was exchanged with a Sky Realm cultivator at the cultivator's market. However, the one that the ghost gave him was obviously different from the others, and the ghost didn't let him use it, so he couldn't just use it. The remaining 5 could be used to make a necklace of essence. Lin Yi didn't want to use it, so he didn't want to. However, Lin Yi wasn't a blacksmith, so he couldn't refine it yet. Now that he had obtained an extra essence Niden, it wasn't that he didn't want to waste it. To make an essence necklace, the minimum number of essence Niden was 5. The more, the better. Moreover, the higher the level of the beast, the better the effect. So, Lin Yi naturally wouldn't waste this essence Niden. Carefully putting away the inner core, Lin Yi asked Skybolt Pig, "Is the thing in front better than this?" GG. Skybolt Pig nodded. Good, let's continue. Lin Yi picked up Skybolt Pig and strode towards the top of the mountain. What made Lin Yi feel strange was that although the map clearly indicated that this was an extremely dangerous place, Lin Yi hadn't encountered any danger along the way. This made Lin Yi feel strange and suspicious. Did the Heavenly Elixir sect make a mistake? In other words, this place was an extremely dangerous place many hundreds, even thousands of years ago, but perhaps the danger no longer existed. Otherwise, Lin Yi couldn't explain why he was safe and sound all this time, not running into any danger. At the top of the mountain, Lin Yi finally set foot on it. Standing there, Lin Yi wanted to see the whole scene of the trial ground, but he didn't expect that there would be a thick fog in the distance, so he couldn't see far. Maybe this was the natural climate of the trial ground. Lin Yi shook his head and didn't spend too much time on this matter. Instead, he asked Skybolt Pig, "We have reached the top of the mountain. Where is the treasure?" GG. Skybolt Pig turned his head and pointed at the cave in the distance. However, before Lin Yi could answer, a huge fluctuation of chi suddenly came. Not only Lin Yi's heart trembled, but even Skybolt Pig's hair stood up. Skybolt Pig rarely stood up since he started following Lin Yi. Whenever he encountered danger, his hair would stand up carrying poison. Lin Yi had seen it once in the ancient tomb, and this time Skybolt Pig's hair unconsciously stood up, which was enough to show how terrifying that aura was. Following the direction of the energy fluctuation, Lin Yi raised his head and looked in that direction. Not far from the mountain peak, there was a flash of colorful lights in the blue sky. These lights contained a violent energy fluctuation, and a loud rumbling sound was like the thunder before a storm, causing Lin Yi to feel an indescribable pressure. Boom! This was the sound of the collision of energy. Lin Yi focused his gaze and found that the sound came from the cave at the top of the mountain, and the colorful energy collision also came from that cave. Boom! Another loud sound was heard, and the explosive energy carried sand and stones in all directions. The entire mountain was suddenly filled with flying sand and stones, and the originally pure sky suddenly became gray. Even though Lin Yi was a cultivator, he was still a bit afraid of this strange phenomenon. What is this sound? Is this a battle between experts? Is there someone there? Or are two spirit beasts having a sword duel at Mount Hua? Lin Yi took a deep breath and muttered to himself, "GG." Skybolt Pig nodded his head, then shook it. "You mean there is someone there? A man and a spirit beast are fighting?" Lin Yi looked at Skybolt Pig in surprise. Chapter 2798. Lin Yi's jade didn't warn him, but even if there was an earth-shattering battle, it wouldn't hurt Lin Yi. It made sense that the jade wouldn't warn him. A battle between a man and a beast. How did they create such a terrifying clash of energy? Lin Yi's eyes went wide, finding it hard to believe. Could it be that a participant was teleported to the top of the mountain, and there was a spirit beast there, and they started fighting? At the thought, Lin Yi hesitated. He didn't know if he should do something about it. Even if he didn't get close, Lin Yi could tell that the two weren't weak just from witnessing the battle from afar. It wasn't that Lin Yi couldn't create something like this, but Lin Yi made an energy bomb. So it was strange that other people or spirit beasts could create something like this. Lin Yi was a little hesitant as he stared at the cave in the distance. There was still the sound of energy clashing, and the man and the beast were probably fighting fiercely, should he go or not. At that moment, another thunderous sound rang in Lin Yi's ears. The ground beneath Lin Yi's feet started shaking, making Lin Yi hesitate. What if the person in the cave is Feng Shipian or Li Siba? Lin Yi hesitated. Of course, as far as Lin Yi was concerned, the person in the cave couldn't be Guxian, Qikuan, or Yang Qiqi. If it were those three, they'd be dead already. There was no way they'd be fighting so intensely with the spirit beast. The cultivator in the cave should be at least a heaven-rank initial stage expert. Let's go see. Lin Yi gritted his teeth. Since he was here, Lin Yi didn't want to leave the treasure in the cave, and he was worried about the person in the cave. Since the decision was made, Lin Yi didn't linger any longer. He strode towards the cave. The path to the mountaintop was easy, and Lin Yi sped towards the cave. Not far from the cave, the sounds of battle were getting clearer and clearer, and the energy coming from the cave made Lin Yi feel a pressure he'd never felt before. At this moment, Lin Yi finally understood that the person fighting here was definitely not just a Sky Class early phase. It was very likely that he was a Sky Class late phase, or even a Sky Class late phase peak. Even standing at the entrance of the cave, Lin Yi couldn't help but feel a chill run down his spine. That powerful aura wasn't something he could handle. Taking a deep breath, Lin Yi wanted to give up, but since he was here, he wasn't willing to not take a look. After hesitating for a moment, Lin Yi carefully walked towards the cave. When he arrived at the entrance of the cave, the first thing that caught Lin Yi's eyes was a huge spirit beast. This spirit beast was abnormally huge, even bigger than any spirit beast Lin Yi had seen before. Its body length alone was a full 10 meters. It had 4 sturdy claws, a long tail, a long neck, and on its back there was a row of hard sword-like teeth. If it wasn't for the fact that Lin Yi had seen too many strange spirit beasts, he would have thought that he had returned to the Jurassic or Cretaceous period, because this was clearly a dinosaur. Although Lin Yi couldn't tell what dinosaur it was, no matter its size or appearance, it was a living dinosaur. Looking at the strength of this spirit beast, Lin Yi was shocked. This was actually a spirit beast with the strength of the Great Perfection late stage of Heaven stage. This was a spirit beast whose cultivation was infinitely close to the heavenly Tao. Moreover, it seemed to be a spirit beast with super strong attack power. Roar. What Lin Yi didn't expect was that along with the howl of this dinosaur, it actually spat out a ball of fire from its mouth. This was actually a mutated dinosaur that could spit fire. In a blink of an eye, the target of the ball of fire was a human cultivator. What surprised Lin Yi was that the human cultivator was actually a young girl. That curvaceous body, that light yellow tight miniskirt, Lin Yi was quite taken aback. He didn't think that it would be a female practitioner fighting the dinosaur. The girl in the yellow dress quickly formed a seal with her hands, activating some sort of martial art. A strong light shot out of her hands like a pillar of water, hitting the ball of fire as expected of a Sky-class late-phase peak master. Lin Yi was shocked as he tried to recall if there was a master as strong as this among the people who participated in the trial. But the Sky Elixir Sex test was different from the Ice Palace's test. During the registration, Kong Mingming didn't check the strength of the applicants one by one, nor did he reveal their background. So, only those who were familiar with each other would know about the others. Lin Yi was the same. He was busy talking with Feng Shuiyan, Li Siba, Gu Xian, Qikuan, and Yang Qiqi. He didn't pay attention to the others, so Lin Yi really didn't have much of an impression of this girl. Boom dash! The sound of thunder exploded in Lin Yi's ears once more. Since the distance was too close, the sound seemed to be transmitted into Lin Yi's body, making Lin Yi's legs tremble. Too strong. The ball of flame and the water column collided, producing a huge collision of energy. That was also the reason why the loud sound came out. Roar dash! The dinosaur roared again, not stopping. From its mouth, it spat out another huge ball of energy. But this time it wasn't a fire, it was a ball of water. This shocked Lin Yi. Just what kind of spirit beast was this? It was spitting fire just now, and now it was spitting water? Was this spirit beast a fire or a water element? However, if Lin Yi was shocked at this moment, then he was completely confused in the next moment. This girl, the girl who had just released the water pillar technique, actually pointed at the water ball with her right hand, and a fireball shot out from her fingertip. Boom dash! The sound of thunder rang out once more, but this time Lin Yi didn't move. He was in a state of confusion. Lin Yi couldn't figure out the attributes of the spirit beast, and this girl's attributes were driving Lin Yi crazy as well. The ball of water and the fireball collided once more, and after a huge explosion, they slowly dissipated. Chapter 2799. But now, the dinosaur didn't seem to be doing anything, but the girl was starting to get tired. Oink oink. The pig's cry reminded Lin Yi that he wasn't here to watch the fight, but to search for treasures. It seemed like the treasure the pig was referring to was in this cave. The pig's cry was far from the dinosaur's roar and the thunderous sound of the energy collision, but it still caught the girl's attention. She turned to the entrance of the cave and saw Lin Yi. This was the first time Lin Yi saw the girl's face, and it made him hold his breath. Even though Lin Yi had a lot of beauties around him, he was still deeply shocked by the girl's beauty. How could there be such a beauty in this world? It wasn't that Meng Yao and Yushu weren't beautiful, but the girl in front of him had an indescribable aura around her. It was a feeling that deeply attracted Lin Yi. Although Bingtang was also a sky-class late-phase peak beauty, compared to the girl in front of him, Bingtang's aura was cold and not aura. The girl evidently didn't expect someone to come at this time. She paused and said, "You are also a participant this time, right? Can you help me? We'll hold this beast together. We just need 10 more minutes." "Why should I help you?" Lin Yi didn't let the girl's beauty get to his head. The girl was beautiful, but Lin Yi wasn't the type of person who would get dizzy after seeing a beauty. This beast was clearly very dangerous, and even the girl, a sky-class late-phase peak, couldn't do anything about it. Wouldn't he be seeking death if he went? "I have 2 herbs for the trial in my bag. If you help me, I can give you one as a reward." The girl said. "Oh." Lin Yi was hesitating when the dinosaur made another move. Evidently, the dinosaur had noticed Lin Yi as well, but perhaps it thought that Lin Yi was weak or that Lin Yi hadn't entered the cave yet, so the beast didn't turn to attack Lin Yi. As Lin Yi and the girl were talking, the dinosaur spat out another. More accurately, it had a metallic glow to it. Lin Yi froze. This beast spat out water and fire, and now it spat out a metallic energy ball. Just what kind of element was this beast? The girl didn't have time to say anything to Lin Yi. She hurriedly activated a technique as well, and a beam of golden light shot out from the girl's hands, wrapping around the golden energy ball. The two fused together, enlarging and exploding. At this moment, Lin Yi really couldn't figure out where the dinosaur and the girl came from. It wasn't strange for the beast to be able to use metal, water, and fire attribute skills, but the girl could also use metal, fire, and water attribute skills. This was simply outrageous to Lin Yi. Could it be that this girl was a tri-attribute cultivator? Just as Lin Yi was puzzled, suddenly a multicolored light emitted from inside the cave. This was the same multicolored light that Lin Yi saw from afar. When he reached the entrance of the cave, Lin Yi was still puzzled as to why he didn't see the same multicolored light in the cave. He didn't expect that the same multicolored light would appear inside the cave at this moment. Whoa! The dinosaur roared angrily, and Lin Yi was shocked. This roar was far louder than the previous roars, as if the dinosaur was angry. However, what puzzled Lin Yi was that after the dinosaur roared, it didn't use any skills. Instead, it just stood there, motionless, looking at the girl again. Her face was full of shock. However, there was a hint of relief on her face, as if she had achieved some kind of goal. This strange situation, no matter how one looked at it, was incomparably strange. Lin Yi didn't know what was happening, and he wanted to leave. However, the multicolored light emitted from the cave seemed to have a mind of its own, calling out to Lin Yi, come in quickly." Lin Yi's legs seemed to be guided by something involuntarily, and he walked into the cave. Cold sweat immediately dripped from Lin Yi's forehead. This was the first time he encountered such a strange situation. He couldn't control his legs. It must be said that it was normal to not be able to move one's legs after being frightened. But this was the first time Lin Yi encountered a situation where his legs were walking on their own. However, Lin Yi couldn't stop now even if he wanted to. He was attracted into the cave, and he was about to approach the dinosaur. Stop! Stop! Lin Yi's forehead was covered in cold sweat. If he passed by the dinosaur, and it threw a fireball at him, wouldn't he die on the spot? However, Lin Yi couldn't control his legs. 1 step, 2 steps. Lin Yi was getting closer and closer to the dinosaur. However, when Lin Yi passed by the dinosaur didn't even look at Lin Yi. It was still angrily staring at the source of the multicolored light in the depths of the cave. Until Lin Yi walked past the dinosaur. The dinosaur didn't react at all. Lin Yi's heart suddenly relaxed, but his legs still couldn't control him as he walked deeper into the cave. He was about to reach the place where the girl was just now. At this time, just as Lin Yi was about to say something to the girl, the multicolored light in the depths of the cave suddenly became dazzling and dazzling. That dazzling light instantly enveloped the entire cave. Lin Yi's vision turned into a multicolored light in an instant. He couldn't see anything else. Even the girl and the dinosaur that were right in front of him disappeared. That multicolored light didn't seem to be as simple as light. In the next moment, Lin Yi felt that the multicolored light seemed to be an invisible pressure that invaded Lin Yi's body from the depths of the cave. It made Lin Yi's body feel a stabbing pain. This feeling was like something was about to enter his body. It was like a sign before a breakthrough, but it was also completely different. That multicolored light was like true energy that entered Lin Yi's body bit by bit. The stabbing pain became more and more intense. Chapter 2800. After Lin Yi confirmed that the light wouldn't harm him, Lin Yi closed his eyes and stood there. Since he couldn't resist, he might as well enjoy it. Quietly, five-element sect. Patriarch Xianzhen's expression wasn't good. Xianzhen, why didn't you tell me that you wanted her to participate in the trial? Don't you know that it's very dangerous? And the place she's going to is the most dangerous of all dangers. Patriarch Xianzhen frowned as he looked at Patriarch Xianzhen. Second senior brother, she's going to accept the inheritance. This is for the great plan of our five-element sect. Patriarch Xianzhen smiled. I know she's your proud disciple, but have you thought about it? If you stop her from accepting the inheritance just because she's your disciple, will you be able to face the ancestors of our five-element sect? This Patriarch Xianzhen was speechless. Indeed, compared to the inheritance, nothing was as important. But you should have told me. I need to be prepared. Even if I didn't say it, second senior brother already knows. Patriarch Xianzhen smiled. It seems that second senior brother has a lot of connections in the heavenly elixir sect. You're quite well informed. Patriarch Xianzhen's heart skipped a beat. He suddenly felt that he had said too much. However, from what Patriarch Xianzhen said, it seemed that he already knew that Patriarch Xianzhen had a close relationship with the heavenly elixir sect. Sigh, so many earth rank and heaven rank trial takers have been sacrificed for the great plan of our sect. How can I bear to do that? Patriarch Xianzhen sighed. I'm not just worried about her safety. I'm more worried about the lives of those cultivators. The heavenly elixir sect's trial isn't forced to participate. If they die, they can only blame themselves for not being strong enough. Who can they blame? Patriarch Xianzhen didn't care. Sigh, it's not easy for cultivators to cultivate to this level. They have suffered countless hardships to advance to this level. If they die just like that, Patriarch Xianzhen said helplessly, second senior brother, you're too benevolent. How can those who do great things be soft-hearted? For the sake of our heavenly elixir sect's grand plan, even if we sacrifice all the ancient sects, so what? Patriarch Xianzhen said indifferently. Sigh. Ancestor Xianzhen didn't agree with Ancestor Xuanzhen's approach, but he couldn't say anything. Firstly, his authority in the heavenly elixir sect wasn't as high as Ancestor Xianzhen, so it was useless for him to say anything. Secondly, Ancestor Xianzhen always used the five-element sect's grand plan to suppress him, so he couldn't say anything else. All right, second senior, although she is your disciple, she is also my spy. I'm more worried than you. Patriarch Xianzhen still had use for Patriarch Xianzhen, so he naturally wouldn't offend him too much. Thus, he consoled, actually, if you want to blame someone for this, it's the person who crippled Tagon Long. If it weren't for him, why would we need to use a spy? XT Senior Patriarch, do long as XTT long, get XT. Well, as he got the blame. Well, ancestor well, XT well. He, in my eyes, whoever is weak is to be blamed, Patriarch Xianzhen said. Patriarch Xianzhen didn't say anything else. He knew it was useless to say anything else. Heavenly Elixir Sect. Kong Mingming rushed back with Tianji. Although Kong Ming didn't show up the next day, he was waiting for Tianji at the inn. When Tianji returned, they would return to the Heavenly Elixir Sect together. Big Brother Kong, the young sect master is looking for you. As soon as Kong Mingming returned, he was stopped by Little Peach. Ah, the young sect master is looking for me? I'll be right there. Kong Mingming didn't even bother to go to the toilet. He went to the courtyard where the silkworm transformation was located with Little Peach. Big Brother Kong, the young master doesn't seem to be in a good mood these 2 days. Little Peach went to serve him, but was driven out by him. You have to be careful in a while. Don't anger the young master. Little Peach reminded him on the way. Oh, really? Then I'll have to be careful. Kong Xiaoming quickly nodded and remembered it in his heart. I don't know why the young master is so angry. What should I pay attention to later? Actually, it's nothing. The young sect master will be in a bad mood. For a few days, every month. Little Peach didn't continue. How many days a month do you feel down? It's not like a woman is on her period. Why would he be in a bad mood? Kong Mingming asked curiously. Shoo. Little Peach's face changed, and she was shocked. Big Brother Kong, don't talk nonsense. Be careful of getting yourself killed. You slandering the young sect master is a capital offense. I know. Kong Mingming was also shocked. He looked around and said, Aren't I telling you now? I don't dare to say it to others. And Little Peach nodded and said, Generally at the end of every month when the people below report the medicinal pill sales data, the young sect master will be in a bad mood. Don't guess randomly. I understand. Kong Mingming quickly nodded and said yes. Huh? But it doesn't seem to be the end of the month now. Little Peach was also a little confused. She shook her head and said, Don't ask so much. Kong Mingming nodded and no longer asked. The 2 people came to the courtyard where Heavenly Silkworm transformation was located. It was still the courtyard from before. Little Peach knocked on the door and said to the inside, Young sect master, Elder Kong is here. Oh, invite him in. In the courtyard room, Heavenly Silkworm transformations in different voice came. Yes. Little Peach hurriedly pushed the door open and walked into the courtyard with Kong Mingming and entered the room. Little Peach, you go make tea. Heavenly Silkworm transformation seemed to be reading something. After Kong Mingming and Little Peach came in, he put the book in his hand aside and then instructed Little Peach. Yes, young sect master. Little Peach hurriedly went to make tea. Ha! Young sect master, I haven't seen you for a few days. You seem to have become much more handsome. Kong Mingming raised his head and met Heavenly Silkworm transformation's gaze. He felt that Heavenly Silkworm transformation seemed to have become much more handsome after not seeing him for a few days. He was originally prepared to carry shoes for Heavenly Silkworm transformation, so he naturally wouldn't let go of this good opportunity to flatter him. However, Heavenly Silkworm transformation frowned and interrupted Kong Mingming's words. Elder Kong, let me ask you, how many Heaven Stage trial takers and Earth Stage trial takers participated in this trial? Chapter 2801. Oh, then I'll have to trouble you. Xiaoming, Silkworm transformation nodded. It's no trouble. It's my honor to be in charge of this for you, Kong Xiaoming said, as he took out a booklet from his pocket. It was the booklet he had registered before. Kong Xiaoming opened it and started counting. After a while, he said to Tian Silkworm, Young master, there are a total of 24 Sky class masters, 19 Earth class masters, and 8 Mystic class masters. There's no need to report the profound stage masters. Silkworm Transformation waved his hand and interrupted Kong Ming Ming's words. Then he said to himself, a total of 43, 2 a day, almost 22 days. It should be enough time for them to return safely. Young master, what did you say? Kong Ming Ming didn't understand what Silkworm Transformation was talking about. Nothing. Silkworm Transformation shook his head and looked relieved. He said to Kong Ming Ming, Xiao Ming, don't mention what I asked you just now to anyone. Don't worry, young master. I'm your dog. If you don't let me bark, I won't dare to. Kong Ming Ming said quickly, That's good. Silkworm Transformation nodded and said, I'm a little tired. Xiao Ming can also see that young master seems to be a little tired. Do you want me to give you a massage? Kong Ming Ming asked. Massage? Silkworm Transformation was stunned. He hesitated but didn't answer immediately. Young master, do you forget that Xiao Ming's massage skill was taught by Xian Zhen ancestor? It's very good. Kong Ming Ming saw Silkworm Transformation's hesitation and felt that there was a chance. Oh, okay, Xiao Ming, come on. Silkworm Transformation nodded, indicating that Kong Ming Ming could give him a massage. When Kong Ming Ming saw that the Silkworm Transformation had agreed, he was overjoyed. He thought to himself, sure enough, hard work pays off. As long as you have perseverance, you can grind an iron bar into a needle. He quickly got up and carefully stood behind the Silkworm Transformation. Massaging his head and shoulders, Little Peach went to brew some tea and walked into the room with the tea tray. Suddenly, she saw Kong Ming Ming massaging Heavenly Silkworm Transformation. She was so shocked that she almost dropped the tea tray in her hand. She was shocked in her heart. Kong Ming Ming was really bold. He actually dared to massage Heavenly Silkworm Transformation. What was even stranger was why Silkworm Change agreed to have Kong Ming Ming massage him. However, when Little Peach saw that Heavenly Silkworm Transformation seemed to appreciate Kong Ming Ming, she was happy and worried. She placed the tea tray on the table and said, Young master, the tea is ready. Oh, Xiao Ming, your massage is almost done. Drink some tea. I'm going to read too. As Heavenly Silkworm Transformation spoke, he picked up the book beside his hand. It was a book on alchemy. Then Xiao Ming won't disturb young master. Xiao Ming will leave first. How could Kong Ming Ming dare to drink tea? He knew that Heavenly Silkworm Transformation was just being polite by asking him to drink tea. Heavenly Silkworm Transformation had already gone to read. So why would he drink tea? Oh, then Little Peach, help me send Xiao Ming off. Heavenly Silkworm Transformation waved his hand and said to Little Peach, then find something to do. I want to read by myself. Yes, Little Peach quickly agreed and left Heavenly Silkworm Transformation's room with Kong Ming Ming. When the two of them left the courtyard together, Little Peach breathed a sigh of relief and said, Brother Kong, why are you so bold to massage young master? I was just asking. I didn't expect young master to agree. Kong Ming Ming was also a little puzzled and said, Is it because young master thinks that I'm reliable and thinks highly of me? It's possible, but you still have to be careful. Little Peach also felt that it was a little strange. Don't worry, young master seems to be very happy. When I become his confidant, I will propose marriage to him. Kong Ming Ming said, at that time, we will both be his confidants. Okay. Little Peach wanted to say something more, but she was fascinated by Kong Ming Ming's proposal. She was looking forward to it. In the cave, the colorful light had been flickering for a long time. According to Lin Yi's estimation, it was at least a day and a night, or even longer. However, this feeling of pain and happiness made Lin Yi feel comfortable. The light seemed to be nourishing the meridians in Lin Yi's body, but it didn't seem to be meridians. Lin Yi didn't know what it was, but it made him feel very comfortable. At this moment, he felt like he was in a mysterious space, and the time around him seemed to have stopped. He didn't know how much time had passed, but the light in front of him gradually dimmed, and he returned to reality from the mysterious state he was in before. A beautiful face appeared in front of Lin Yi. It was the beautiful woman in the cave before. Only then did Lin Yi realize that he was so close to her. The two of them were almost face to face, and they were about to touch. Lin Yi could see the beautiful woman, and the beautiful woman could naturally see Lin Yi. She was also shocked by Lin Yi, who suddenly appeared in front of her. She exclaimed in surprise, "Ah, ugh." Lin Yi just wanted to explain that he couldn't help it. He was about to take 2 steps back, but he didn't expect a loud roar to suddenly come from behind Lin Yi. Roar? The dinosaur seemed to have returned to its normal state and suddenly let out an angry roar. A powerful energy flow directly pushed Lin Yi to the body of the beautiful woman in front of him. Lin Yi opened his mouth to speak, and the beautiful woman was also stunned. So the 2 mouths of Lin Yi and the beautiful woman were facing each other. The strong energy flow pushed the two to the ground, just like how Lin Yi had pounced on the girl. Both of them had just recovered from the shock and hadn't used their arts to protect themselves yet, so they fell to the ground easily. The two of them kissed, and this feeling couldn't help but make Lin Yi stunned. He didn't expect that the two of them would meet in such an ambiguous scene. However, this wonderful feeling made Lin Yi's heart instantly moved. Although it was the first time they met, anyone would be moved by such a beautiful woman full of spiritual energy. Ugh. The girl's body trembled. She also didn't expect this scene to appear in front of her. She pushed Lin Yi away and glared at Lin Yi. You still don't want to get up? Chapter 2802. The girl glared at Lin Yi, feeling a little embarrassed. This was her first kiss, and she didn't expect to lose it here. However, although she was angry, she didn't forget what was happening in front of her. Although the light of 5 evils was successfully activated, she didn't expect the dragon of 5 evils to return to the cave early. She didn't know whether the inheritance was successful or not. Moreover, the most important thing now was how to successfully escape from here. Looking at the dragon of 5 evils, it was obviously extremely angry. Its eyes had turned red, as if it was going to swallow someone. Be careful. The beautiful girl didn't have time to blame Lin Yi at this moment. She saw the dragon of 5 evils spit out a fireball, which smashed right at Lin Yi's back. Boom. Lin Yi didn't have time to dodge, and was hit by the dragon of 5 evils fireball. Suddenly, the skin on Lin Yi's back was torn open. This was even after Lin Yi heard the beautiful girl's reminder and quickly circulated the mantra to protect his body. Otherwise, even if Lin Yi didn't die, it would be hard for him to survive. Even so, Lin Yi's back was still hit until it caved in. If it was a normal cultivator, they probably wouldn't be able to survive. The beautiful girl also took advantage of this moment to climb up from under Lin Yi's body. She glanced at Lin Yi, and a trace of sympathy flashed in her eyes. Just now, when the dragon of 5 evils suddenly activated its skill, if it wasn't for Lin Yi blocking in front of her, perhaps she wouldn't have been able to dodge it in a short time. Even if her strength was higher than Lin Yi's and she wasn't beaten so badly, she probably wouldn't have been able to escape in a short time. Therefore, the beautiful girl's heart was still filled with gratitude towards Lin Yi. If it wasn't for him blocking, she would have been in danger today. Therefore, when Lin Yi forcefully kissed her before, the beautiful girl didn't have much resistance and dissatisfaction in her heart. At this time, the beautiful woman also put her palms together and formed a seal. She suddenly pushed them out, and a strange light shot out from her hands towards the 5 evils dragon. Lin Yi took this opportunity to quickly crawl to a safe place on the side. he quickly activated the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, preparing to heal his injuries. His injuries were too severe. If he didn't heal in time, he might die. When Lin Yi saw the beautiful woman going to fight the Five Evils dragon, he heaved a sigh of relief. However, at the same time, he suddenly felt that the martial technique that the beautiful woman had executed was somewhat familiar. However, because Lin Yi had hurriedly dodged to the side, he did not see it clearly. Moreover, Lin Yi was in a rush to recover from his injuries, so he did not have the time to think about it. Boom! The beautiful woman's martial skill exploded on the Five Evils dragon's body. The Five Evils dragon retreated 2 steps and roared furiously. Its voice was filled with rage. It seemed that the beautiful woman's martial skill had angered it, and the martial skill that she had used was most likely an ultimate martial skill. Roar! The Five Evils dragon had clearly lost its patience. Previously, it had only activated its martial skill. Perhaps it had the mentality of teaching the beautiful woman a lesson, but perhaps because the beautiful woman's martial skill was very powerful, it did not want to continue fighting with her. It stretched out its claws and clawed at the beautiful woman. Ah! The beautiful woman cried out in alarm. Even if she was a peak late-stage heaven-class expert, she was no match for the Five Evils dragon in terms of size and speed. She was instantly caught by the Five Evils dragon's claws, and the Five Evils dragon's nails directly pierced into the beautiful woman's chest. The beautiful woman's face immediately turned pale. It seemed that the Five Evils dragon had not used its full strength before. What happened afterwards had angered the Five Evils dragon, so it lost its patience and directly grabbed the beautiful woman. Although Lin Yi wanted to help, he could not even take care of himself right now. How could he have the time to save the beautiful woman? Moreover, even if he did save her, Lin Yi was no match for the Five Evils dragon. Even a peak late-stage heaven-class expert's martial skill was ineffective against the Five Evils dragon. How could Lin Yi defeat it? The Five Evils dragon was obviously not stupid. It grabbed the beautiful woman and went all the way to the entrance of the cave. It grabbed the beautiful woman's claw and spun it a few times in the air. Then it let go. The beautiful woman was like a cannonball. With a whoosh, she was thrown towards the back of the mountain and disappeared in the blink of an eye. The corner of Lin Yi's mouth twitched. At this moment, he realized that a peak late-stage heaven-class cultivator was helpless and insignificant in front of a powerful spiritual beast, especially in front of such a huge spiritual beast. Lin Yi finally understood why the trial map had specially marked this place as an extremely dangerous place. With the Five Evils dragon here, perhaps only a heavenly Tao expert could go against it. After the beautiful woman was thrown away, the Five Evils dragon turned around and walked step by step towards Lin Yi in the cave. Lin Yi's forehead instantly broke out in a cold sweat. However, there was nothing he could do at this moment, not to mention that Lin Yi was heavily injured. Even if he was not, he would not be a match for the Five Evils dragon. If it was a blessing, it would not be a disaster. If it was a disaster, he could not avoid it. Lin Yi carried this kind of fearless attitude and continued to madly use the second level of the art of dragon mastery to heal his injuries. However, the Five Evils dragon had no intention of letting Lin Yi go. It reached out and grabbed Lin Yi. However, Lin Yi was luckier than the beautiful woman. The Five Evils dragon's nails did not pierce into Lin Yi's body. Then, the Five Evils dragon turned its body nimbly and grabbed Lin Yi, walking towards the entrance of the cave. It seemed that he was most likely going to end up like the beautiful woman and become a flying man. Lin Yi smiled bitterly and looked at Skybolt Pig, who was at the entrance of the cave. At this moment, this little fellow was saying something to the Five Evils dragon. However, the Five Evils dragon obviously had no intention of paying attention to him, It was annoyed by Skybolt Pig's words. It reached out and grabbed Skybolt Pig and Lin Yi together. Just like before, it swung its claws twice, and with a whoosh, it threw both Lin Yi and Skybolt Pig towards the back of the mountain. All Lin Yi could hear was the sound of the wind. He was flying towards the valley at the back of the mountain at an extremely fast speed. Lin Yi did not dare to slow down. Although the Five Evils dragon did not use any skills, its terrifying speed was already too much for Lin Yi to bear. If he did not use his true chi to protect his body, he would probably become a pile of minced meat. Skybolt Pig, be careful when you land later. Don't forget to use your true chi to protect your body. Otherwise, both of us will die. Lin Yi reminded as he flew. GG. Skybolt Pig nodded. Chapter 2803. Originally, Lin Yi was already severely injured. Now that he was thrown by the Five Evils dragon, he was forced into the space of the jade pendant. Lin Yi's injuries were too severe. At this moment, he couldn't care less about Skybolt Pig and the beautiful woman's injuries. Lin Yi could only heal his own injuries first. After entering the space of the jade pendant, Lin Yi quickly activated the second stage of the art of dragon mastery to heal his internal injuries. Time was always slow when it came to healing, especially when he was worried about Skybolt Pig and the girl's safety. All he could do was increase the speed of his practitioner's arts as fast as he could to heal himself as fast as he could. However, what Lin Yi didn't expect was that the mental cultivation method was circulating faster and faster. It was like a speeding car that was out of control. It was getting faster and faster. It was so fast that it was frightening. Lin Yi quickly slowed down the circulation speed of the mental cultivation method. However, even though Lin Yi slowed down the circulation speed of the mental cultivation method, in reality, the circulation speed of the mental cultivation method did not slow down at all. Moreover, Lin Yi realized that the huge amount of vital energy in the space of the jade pendant was rushing into his body from all directions. This sudden change shocked Lin Yi. What's going on? I just want to heal my injuries quickly. Why does it feel like I'm losing control of my mental cultivation method? Is this a sign of chi deviation? However, this feeling gave Lin Yi a familiar feeling. It seemed like he had experienced this before. The vital energy surged endlessly into Lin Yi's body. In an instant, Lin Yi felt like his body was about to explode. However, there was nothing he could do. He had already stopped the circulation of the mental cultivation method, but it was of no use. Cold sweat broke out on Lin Yi's forehead. What's going on? Could it be that I really have chi deviation? Lin Yi asked anxiously. Jiao Lao, what's going on? I can't control my true chi. What should I do? What should we do? Jiao Yazi glanced at Lin Yi and said indifferently, Isn't this normal? Very normal? Lin Yi was stunned. He was about to die from anxiety. Jiao Yazi actually used such a calm tone to talk to him. It was simply frightening. Yeah, aren't you going to break through soon? This is a good thing. Why are you so scared? Jiao Yazi said indifferently. What? Breakthrough? Haven't I only been in Earth class late phase for a few days? Lin Yi was even more stunned. He had just broken through to the late stage of Earth class and hadn't even touched the barrier to the full circle. How could he have broken through? Wasn't this a little too fast? Who told you that you're about to break through to late Earth class? Jiao Yazi rolled his eyes and said, I'm talking about your art of dragon mastery. You're about to break through to the second stage and reach the full circle of the second stage. Puffed. Cough, cough. Lin Yi was so shocked by Jiao Yazi's words that he almost vomited blood. He was just about to ask when he suddenly remembered the first time he entered the space in the jade pendant. Indeed, when he broke through to the full circle of the first stage, the feeling was very similar to what he was feeling now. No wonder Lin Yi felt that it was familiar. It was the first time he broke through his practitioner's heart. It had been a long time, And Lin Yi had been breaking through in terms of strength the whole time, not his practitioner's heart, so he'd forgotten about it. Thinking of this, Lin Yi finally calmed down and allowed the energy around him to flow into his body. At this moment, Lin Yi's body was like a magnet, constantly absorbing the energy around him. The energy in Lin Yi's body was increasing, and gradually Lin Yi felt that his body could no longer withstand the huge amount of energy. Then his whole body exploded like a firecracker. With a loud bang, the clothes on his body instantly turned into charred pieces, flying in all directions. Breakthrough. Lin Yi didn't think that he would reach the full circle of the second stage of the art of dragon mastery so quickly. Originally, this was something that would make Lin Yi jealous and have a headache, but he didn't expect to break through while he was healing. But that's not right. Didn't they say that the prerequisite for breaking through to the full circle of the second stage of the art of dragon mastery was to convert the 5 elements in his body into real elements? But he didn't accept the inheritance. So how did it become real? Thinking of this, Lin Yi couldn't be bothered to enjoy the pleasure of breaking through and quickly asked Jiao Yazi, Jiao Lao, the virtual elements in my body haven't been converted into real elements. So how did I break through to the full circle of the second stage of the art of dragon mastery? Of course, you now have the 5 elements of real elements, except for the mist and ice elements. But this won't affect the breakthrough of the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, because those 2 elements are sub-elements, so there's no need to convert them for now. Jiao Yazi said, Ah, already converted? When did it happen? Don't I have to go to the place of inheritance to accept the inheritance? Lin Yi was stunned and felt that it was a little strange. When did he accept the inheritance? Just now. Jiao Yazi said, Just now. Lin Yi was stunned and suddenly remembered the strange thing that happened in the cave. At that time, he seemed to be in a strange and mysterious state. Could it be that was the inheritance? But even if it was the inheritance, it wouldn't be the inheritance of 5 elements at once. The 5 elements were converted into real elements at the same time. This made Lin Yi feel like he was dreaming. When I was in the cave, that's the time. Jiao Yazi nodded and said, Although I also don't know why you accepted the inheritance there. There is indeed the origin of the 5 elements there. Could it be that the land of 5 evils means the 5 elements? Lin Yi frowned. Previously, the characteristics of the qi of 5 evils seemed to be similar to the qi of the 5 elements. Could it be that he accidentally came to the land of 5 evils and accepted the inheritance? I'm not sure about this. Jiao Yazi said, I haven't been here either, but one thing is for sure. You have accepted the inheritance. Why do you still want to find out why you accepted the inheritance? Chapter 2804. Although Lin Yi's inheritance was fundamentally different from theirs, since Lin Yi could inherit it, they should also be able to inherit it. No, Lin Yi suddenly thought of a very important question. Jiao Lao, even if I can inherit the 5 elemental origin energy here, isn't there a prerequisite for inheriting the 5 elemental origin energy? That is, I have to make a series of complicated preparations. Unlike normal inheritors who only need to comprehend the inheritance themselves, I didn't make any preparations, right? You didn't do it, but it doesn't mean that others didn't. Jiao Yazi said faintly, maybe it was done by that dinosaur, or that little girl. After being reminded by Jiao Yazi, Lin Yi suddenly thought of an incomparably important matter. It was that beautiful girl's ultimate killing technique. At that time, Lin Yi felt that it was a little familiar, but because he was injured, he didn't have time to think about it. But now that he thought about it, Lin Yi suddenly felt that this technique was actually a little similar to his own technique. Yes, this is the 5 elements 8 trigrams palm. Connecting this to the strange brilliance on the girl's palm, Lin Yi suddenly thought of the scene when Tagan Long activated the technique. This girl actually knows the 5 elements 8 trigrams palm. This discovery made Lin Yi's heart jump. Could this girl be from the Tagan family? Perhaps she's Taganlong's sister? However, she could also be from the 5 Elements sect and had nothing to do with the Tagan family. However, no matter which force the girl belonged to, whether it was the Tagan family or the 5 Elements sect, she was still Lin Yi's enemy. Thinking of this, Lin Yi was a little hesitant. Should he save her or not? Lin Yi didn't want to save an enemy to deal with him, for no reason. Although the beautiful girl was very beautiful, the poisonous mushroom was also very beautiful. If he ate it, he would die. When the art of dragon mastery reached the 2nd level, Lin Yi realized that his injuries were all healed. Lin Yi quickly returned to reality from the space in the jade pendant and saw Skybolt Pig anxiously guarding Lin Yi. Skybolt Pig, are you all right? Lin Yi looked at Skybolt Pig in shock. Skybolt Pig didn't seem to be injured at all. GG. Skybolt Pig nodded and rode on the soft ground with his paw. My fur will stand up, and it will act as a buffer. After he finished riding, the Skybolt Pig purposely stood up for Lin Yi to see. Then he bounced on the ground. This made Lin Yi speechless. This Skybolt Pig could even turn into an elastic ball. No wonder nothing happened. How's the girl? Lin Yi's heart was currently in a dilemma about the beautiful girl in yellow. Should he save her or not? If he saved her, Lin Yi was afraid that this person would turn against him and refuse to save her. Lin Yi thought about how he forcefully kissed her and how she reminded him when the 5 Evils dragon attacked him. If it wasn't for her warning, he wouldn't have been able to activate the incantation in time to protect his body. If it wasn't for her warning, his injuries would have been even more severe. He didn't even know if he could have survived the fall from the valley. In a sense, the girl was Lin Yi's savior. If Lin Yi didn't save her, he wouldn't be able to bear it. GG. Skybolt Pig stretched out his paw and pointed in a direction not far away. Oh, you mean she's over there? Let's go and take a look. Lin Yi stood up and walked with Skybolt Pig in the direction it pointed. As he walked, Lin Yi observed the place he was at. This was the valley behind the 5 Evils mountain. Lin Yi looked up and saw that he had fallen from the 5 Evils mountain range. His face changed instantly. This was a valley that couldn't be climbed. The mountain wall in front of him was extremely smooth. There wasn't even a foothold to climb. It wouldn't have mattered if the mountain was a bit short. Lin Yi was an Earth-class late-phase master. After all, he could jump up and try a few more times and he would be able to reach the top. But this mountain was too high and there was no way he could jump up. This mountain range was endless. Lin Yi didn't know if there was an end to it. At least from the looks of it, Lin Yi couldn't go up. On the other side of the mountain range was a vast open space. Lin Yi didn't know what was on that side. In short, he couldn't see the end of it. This made Lin Yi's heart go cold. That dinosaur from before was really bad. It actually threw him into such a remote place. Even if he didn't fall to his death, he wouldn't be able to go back. He would be trapped to death here. At first, Lin Yi was thinking about whether or not he should save the beautiful woman. But now, it seemed that one more person meant one more strength. Lin Yi still didn't know how to escape from here. Having another heaven-class late-phase master by his side was always a good thing. Moreover, if he didn't say anything, the beautiful woman wouldn't know that he was her enemy. Let's get out of this place first, then we'll go our separate ways. Following the direction that Skybolt Pig pointed, Lin Yi found the beautiful woman in the yellow dress in a pile of rubble. Looking at her, the beautiful woman in the yellow dress didn't suffer any other injuries except for the fatal wound on her chest. However, the girl's originally ruddy face was now extremely pale. It was enough to show that her injuries were not light. It seemed that when she fell down the cliff, she used the mantra to protect her body. That was why she didn't fall from such a high place without being smashed into meat paste. However, because she used all of her true chi to protect her body, she didn't seal the wound on her chest, causing her internal injuries to worsen. Lin Yi bent down and checked the girl's breath. She was still breathing, which made Lin Yi heave a sigh of relief. The beautiful woman in the yellow dress didn't die. Lin Yi began to check her injuries. Originally, Lin Yi thought that as long as he used the second level of the art of dragon mastery to heal her internal injuries, it would be fine. But when Lin Yi took a closer look, he found that something was wrong. On the chest of the beautiful woman, there was a white dinosaur nail fragment that had pierced into her heart. It was so deep that it had almost pierced through her entire chest if he didn't remove the dinosaur nail fragment. Then even if Lin Yi used the art of dragon mastery, he wouldn't be able to heal the beautiful woman's injuries. After all, it was an external obstruction. Chapter 28:05. Therefore, in order to ensure that the beautiful woman could hold on, Lin Yi decided to heal her injuries first. Once the injury on her chest was healed, he could cut her open and take out the dinosaur nail. Anyway, she was a heaven stage practitioner. If she couldn't bear this little pain, how could she have the strength of a heaven stage practitioner? Thinking of this, Lin Yi didn't waste any time. He directly grasped the veins on the beautiful woman's wrists and quickly used the art of dragon mastery. In an instant, Lin Yi's true chi surged into the beautiful woman's body. What Lin Yi didn't expect was that after the second stage of the art of dragon mastery reached perfection, the healing speed was so fast. It was more than a third faster than before. Lin Yi was immediately overjoyed. This way, when he fought with a heaven stage practitioner, whether he was injured in battle or recovering his true chi after using a big move, he would be able to heal much faster than before. This was a life-saving measure. In fact, the yellow dress beautiful woman's injuries weren't as serious as Lin Yi's. Lin Yi was hit by the dinosaur skill, but the yellow dress beautiful woman only had her chest pierced by it. In comparison, Lin Yi's injuries were more serious. However, the yellow dress beautiful woman's injuries were already very serious in the eyes of other practitioners. A small rejuvenation pill couldn't save her, unless there was a third stage great rejuvenation pill. The beautiful woman's injuries were quickly recovering under the effect of Lin Yi's all-purpose true chi, and Lin Yi didn't have to be too nervous with the skybolt pig guarding him. He focused on healing the beautiful woman and didn't have to worry about the safety of the people around him. But now, it seemed that there weren't any spirit beasts in this valley. The skybolt pig stood beside Lin Yi lazily, looking around. Finally, the beautiful woman's injuries were all healed, except for the dinosaur nail on her chest. All her injuries were healed. However, Lin Yi only healed her injuries. He didn't help her recover her true chi. Lin Yi wasn't familiar with her, and he didn't know if she would be hostile to him when she woke up. So he had to wait until she woke up to determine if she was a friend or foe. After the beautiful woman's injuries were healed, Lin Yi undressed her. Although Lin Yi was a miracle doctor, he didn't have X-ray vision and hands. He couldn't perform surgery on the beautiful woman through her clothes. So Lin Yi had to undress her chest and perform the surgery. Of course, Lin Yi could wait for the beautiful woman to wake up and do it herself, but it was very dangerous. The beautiful woman wasn't a doctor. He wasn't a doctor. First, it would be very difficult to perform surgery on herself. Secondly, the dinosaur nail should be pierced to the side of the beauty on the beautiful woman. Lin to be, the beautiful woman's heart to be. But Lin Yi wasn't afraid. He could use the art of dragon mastery to heal her. So Lin Yi decided to help her to the end. He removed the nail from her chest, but Lin Yi was a little worried. He had to take off her clothes to heal her. What if she woke up and killed him? It wasn't that Lin Yi was overthinking, but with Yang Chi as an example, Lin Yi had to be careful. With that thought, Lin Yi quickly used his finger to press on the beautiful woman's body a couple of times. One was to seal the acupuncture points on her chest, and the other was to seal her acupoints so that she wouldn't be able to move even if she woke up. The beautiful woman was a Sky-class late-phase peak, but she had used up most of her energy during the fight with the five-bane dragon. The last bit of energy she had was used to protect her body when she fell off the cliff. Lin Yi had already checked her. She had almost no energy left in her body. Even if she woke up, she wouldn't be able to use her energy to break through the seal. Lin Yi was doing this just in case. After everything was done, Lin Yi took off the clothes on the beautiful woman's chest. She wasn't wearing a brassy. She was only wearing a piece of yellow silk. Lin Yi took a deep breath and gritted his teeth as he took off the silk. A pair of snow-white jade rabbits jumped out into Lin Yi's sight. There was a dinosaur nail in the middle of the two rabbits, but it didn't affect the beauty at all. The wound had been repaired by Lin Yi, and all that was left was a dinosaur nail. Lin Yi's breathing quickened as he looked at the beautiful scene in front of him. What surprised Lin Yi was that they really were big. They weren't as big as Yushu's, but they were big enough compared to the girls Lin Yi knew. Lin Yi couldn't understand why they didn't look this big on the outside. Was it because he was bound by the yellow silk? Lin Yi shook his head. The beautiful woman probably thought that her big breasts would affect her agility in battle, so she used the silk to bind them. With a shake of his head, Lin Yi quickly prepared for the surgery. He took out a small knife and sterilized it with pure energy before making a quick cut on the girl's chest. He'd learned from old Lin since he was young, and his knife was fast and accurate. There was no hesitation at all, and the cut he made was just big enough to pull out the dinosaur's nails. Lin Yi quickly pulled out the nail and threw it to the side before reaching his hand out to touch the beautiful woman's wound. In actuality, Lin Yi could have healed her by holding her pulse, but he didn't know why he reached out and touched it. That soft, smooth, and wonderful feeling made Lin Yi's heart skip a beat. He subconsciously used his hand to knead it a couple of times. Lin Yi didn't know why he did that, but the beauty in front of him had an indescribable attraction to him. It was just like when he first laid eyes on her at the entrance of the cave. His heart had moved a little. Lin Yi didn't understand why, but there was something about the beautiful woman in front of him that made him want to do it. However, Lin Yi was a person who had gone through strict training, and his willpower was very strong. After a short moment of lust, he suddenly remembered that there was a deep wound on the beautiful woman's chest. He hurriedly used the art of dragon mastery and started to heal the beautiful woman's injury. The beautiful woman woke up as the injuries on her body healed. She thought she was going to die, and no one knew the situation better than she did. She was thrown off the cliff by the five-banes dragon with serious injuries. Even if she had chi to protect her body, if she didn't take a recover pill in time after falling, she would have died without a doubt. Chapter 2806. Therefore, even the beautiful woman herself did not think that she would be able to wake up. She felt that the functions in her body were recovering bit by bit. In a daze, it was as if someone was pinching her chest. The beautiful woman did not have any true chi in her body at all, and she was a little confused and dizzy. Therefore, even if she felt that something was wrong, she was unable to care about what had happened. It was not until Lin Yi's second level of the art of dragon mastery began to circulate and began to heal the wound on the beautiful woman's chest that the beautiful woman felt a burst of warmth in her body, causing her to wake up a little. And this time, the beautiful woman clearly felt that there was a pair of hands on her chest. The beautiful woman was shocked. She opened her eyes and saw that Lin Yi had his eyes closed and his hands on her chest. What are you doing? The beautiful woman subconsciously exclaimed. She wanted to slap him away, but she found that not only did she not have any true chi in her body to support her to do so, she could not even move if she wanted to. It was as if someone had sealed her acupuncture points. The beautiful woman was proficient in the art of medicine and alchemy. She knew about the human body's acupuncture points, and the sealing of acupuncture points. Although she did not know how to do it, she still understood a little. She knew that there were some external cultivators who knew this kind of martial arts. However, at this moment, she did not have time to think about this. What she was thinking about now was what Lin Yi was going to do. The beautiful woman was ashamed and angry. Her beautiful eyes were wide open as she stared at Lin Yi. Her eyes could not wait to spit out flames of anger and burn Lin Yi to death. Healing your injuries. Lin Yi was also shocked when he saw that the beautiful woman had woken up. However, when he thought that her acupuncture points had been sealed by him, and there was no true qi in her body, Lin Yi did not care. His hands were still on the beautiful woman's chest, healing her internal injuries. You? Healing my injuries? The beautiful woman was taken aback. She was not a brainless and impulsive person, although she was extremely angry at the moment. After being reminded by Lin Yi, the beautiful woman suddenly realized that the injuries in her body had actually healed. The beautiful woman knew exactly how badly she was injured. She glanced to the side and saw the bloody nails of the 5 Evils dragon. The beautiful woman immediately understood that Lin must have helped her remove the nails of the 5 Evils dragon. However, even if he had helped him remove the 5 Evils dragon's nails, how had he helped him heal his injuries? Could it be that he has a 3rd-grade great revitalizing pill? Or did he discover the 2 great cyclic pills on him? However, the beautiful woman denied her own thoughts. It was impossible for Lin Yi to have a 3rd-grade great revitalizing pill. Otherwise, he would not have asked Kong Ming for a 3rd-grade great revitalizing pill. He should not have been able to refine it himself. In fact, in the cave, the beautiful woman recognized Lin Yi's identity. When she first saw Lin Yi, she knew that he was Lin Yi, and also knew some things about Lin Yi. The beautiful woman did not expect to meet Lin Yi here. Moreover, Lin Yi actually dared to go to the 5 Evils Mountain. Could it be that Lin Yi stole my 2 great revitalizing pills? He had taken one himself, and now he was giving himself another one. This was the only explanation the beautiful woman could think of. After all, Lin Yi had suffered serious injuries. She knew very well that he was hit by the 5 Evils dragon skill and was thrown off the cliff by the 5 Evils dragon. It was already good enough that he did not fall to his death. How could he have healed her injuries? However, even if Lin Yi took away her great revitalizing pill and took it, the beautiful woman would not blame Lin Yi. On the contrary, she felt that Lin Yi was a righteous person. If it was any other cultivator, if they found a great revitalizing pill on her, they would probably eat one and then take another. They would never let her eat it. They would leave her to fend for herself. How could they waste a great revitalizing pill? Therefore, the beautiful woman was very grateful to Lin Yi. If he had not given her a great revitalizing pill, she was afraid that she would have walked on the road to hell. Yes, how else do you think he recovered? Lin Yi pretended to be extremely serious and continued to massage the beautiful woman's chest as he defended his actions. The beautiful woman's expression changed slightly. A sharp light flashed in her eyes. Originally, she was very grateful to Lin Yi, but she did not expect that Lin Yi would take the opportunity to act like a hooligan. The beautiful woman suddenly had a murderous intent in her heart. Are you healing me? My injuries were healed by the great revitalizing pill. You used your hands to touch me, and you can heal me? Do you want to die? What great revitalizing pill! Lin Yi was stunned. He also felt the beautiful woman's killing intent. However, Lin Yi was also a little annoyed. I was saving you. Although I could have saved you without touching your chest, I touched it to save you. Besides, I brought a dead person back to life. Not only do you want to repay me with your body, but you also want to kill me? In anger, Lin Yi could not help but increase the strength of his hand. You The beautiful woman was so angry that her face turned ashen. She wanted to jump up and kill Lin Yi, but she did not have any true qi in her body. Her acupuncture points were also sealed. However, this also gave the beautiful woman time to calm down. She wanted to say that Lin Yi was taking the opportunity to act like a hooligan and take advantage of her, but at this moment, she clearly felt that there was a burst of warmth coming from Lin Yi's palm, and the injury on her chest was miraculously healing. She was a cultivator at the peak of the late stage of Heaven stage. Her perception was not ordinary. The healing of the wound made her extremely shocked after feeling this strange change. The expression on the beautiful woman's face changed from anger to astonishment. What she did not expect was that Lin Yi was really healing her. Could it be that he could heal with his hands? The beautiful woman's beautiful eyes looked at Lin Yi in shock. Did he not use the Great Revitalizing Pill? Yes, even if he used the Great Revitalizing Pill, the injuries on her body would at most heal and scab. It was impossible to grow new skin so quickly. This was not realistic. Moreover, there would still be scars on her body. After all, no matter how powerful the Great Revitalizing Pill was, the wound caused by the 5 Evils Dragon's nails was too big and too deep. It was difficult to not leave a scar. "What's wrong with me?" Lin Yi asked. "Nothing. Thank you." The beautiful woman was a little shy, although she felt that it was difficult for her to accept being pressed on her chest by Lin Yi. Lin Yi was her savior. The beautiful woman was not a person who could not distinguish between good and bad. Chapter 2807. But Lin Yi wasn't the kind of person to get entangled in trivial matters. Since he knew, Lin Yi continued to heal the beautiful woman. Although it was only a wound on her chest, it was very deep. It was as if her heart had been pierced through, so it wasn't something that could be healed in a short time. The beautiful woman wanted to stop Lin Yi. She wanted to take the Great Recovery Pill herself because the feeling of Lin Yi touching her chest was really strange. It made her feel hot and shy. But the beautiful woman was a girl after all. Even if she was a peak late-stage heaven-rank cultivator, she didn't want to have a scar on her body. Lin Yi's magical healing technique made the beautiful woman a bit reluctant. This was something the Great Recovery Pill couldn't replace. Moreover, the value of a Great Recovery Pill was not low. Even with her status, she only had 2 of them on her person. This was the entire stock of the sect. So she didn't want to waste a Great Recovery Pill just like that. Gritting her teeth, the beautiful woman closed her eyes and thought, since I've touched it before, it doesn't matter if it's a while longer. Time flew by quickly. Since the beautiful woman was unable to resist, she could only quietly enjoy it. Although she felt a little embarrassed at first, after a long time, this kind of numbing feeling made her breath slightly faster. This was the first time that the beautiful woman's body was touched by a man. This kind of wonderful feeling made her want to resist, but she also welcomed it. However, the beautiful woman was a rational person. After a moment of confusion, her mind regained its calmness. The pain in her chest had already disappeared. The beautiful woman opened her eyes and glanced at her chest. She found that besides the area covered by Lin Yi's palm, there was no longer any wound, and the area covered by Lin Yi's palm didn't feel any pain other than that wonderful feeling. It doesn't hurt anymore. Do you still want to continue healing? The beautiful woman couldn't help but ask. "Ah, it's already healed?" Lin Yi's mind was a bit lost before. He was mechanically circulating the second layer of the art of dragon mastery. After being reminded by the beautiful woman, he suddenly realized that the girl's chest injury had completely healed. He said with some embarrassment, "Sorry, I was too engrossed in healing. Invest?" The beautiful woman was stunned for a moment before her face turned red. She understood Lin Yi's intentions and could not help but glare at Lin Yi. "Then, can you take it away now? Now, I want to help you consolidate." For some reason, Lin Yi said this sentence. You're courting death. The beautiful woman glared at Lin Yi, but for some reason, her desire to kill Lin Yi had faded a lot. Lin Yi quickly moved his hands away, and a pair of perfect jade rabbits jumped out. You turn your head. The beautiful woman felt a chill in her chest. When she looked up, she saw Lin Yi staring at her with a lecherous look. She immediately became anxious. Oh, okay. Lin Yi also felt that his previous behavior was a bit inappropriate, but this also made Lin Yi feel strange. He was not a person who was easily obsessed with lust. What was going on today? The girl in front of him seemed to have an indescribable attraction to him. As for why, Lin Yi could not explain it. After Lin Yi turned his head, the beautiful woman quickly wanted to tie the yellow silk back to her chest. However, when she raised her hand, she realized that her acupuncture points were still sealed. If she had true qi in her body, it would not be a problem. She could break through the acupuncture points on her own, but she did not. She hesitated for a moment and could only say, "Hey," and Lin Yi asked, but he did not turn his head. "You help me unseal my acupuncture points," the beautiful woman said anxiously. "Oh, right." Lin Yi just remembered that the beautiful woman's acupuncture points had not been unsealed. He quickly turned around, but he could not avoid seeing the charming jade rabbit on the beautiful woman's chest. You're still looking?" The beautiful woman glared at Lin Yi. "How can I unseal the acupuncture points? If I don't look, are you going to reach out and poke around?" Lin Yi asked. "Then you look." The beautiful woman was a little speechless. "This is what you want me to look at?" Lin Yi continued to look, then reached out his hand and lightly poked the beautiful woman's body a few times. After that, Lin Yi directly turned around. Although the temptation here was greater, Lin Yi still decisively resisted. This was an expert at the peak of the late stage of Heaven Stage. She was not an ordinary little girl. After Lin Yi recognized this, he did not dare to casually provoke her again. The beautiful woman tried for a while, and sure enough, she could move her body. She quickly picked up the yellow silk on the ground and quickly tied up her chest. She tidied up her clothes, but she did not immediately call Lin Yi. Instead, she looked at Lin Yi's back with a complicated look in her eyes. With her style of doing things, she should have killed Lin Yi, but she didn't know why, but she didn't want to do it. Was it because Lin Yi was her savior? The beautiful woman touched the small box on her body and opened it. There were 2 perfectly intact pills inside. At this time, the beautiful woman was completely sure that Lin Yi didn't use her pills. In other words, Lin Yi healed his injuries first and then healed his own? The beautiful woman was very clear about how serious Lin Yi's injuries were. She found it hard to imagine that Lin Yi could actually heal himself and then heal himself. He's really amazing. No wonder Little One and Little 13 returned in defeat, and Han Jingjing could actually recover after suffering such heavy injuries. And Boss Bai's injuries, did he also heal them? Thinking of this possibility, the beautiful woman was shocked by her own thoughts. If that was the case, then Lin Yi was simply too powerful. However, no matter what, the beautiful woman didn't have any enmity with Lin Yi. She couldn't mediate the enmity between Lin Yi and the 5 Elements sect, not to mention her. Even her master couldn't do anything about it. Therefore, the beautiful woman shook her head and temporarily stopped thinking about these things. "Thank you," the beautiful woman said to Lin Yi. Although Lin Yi inevitably took advantage of her while she was healing, the beautiful woman was still grateful to him. Without him, she might have already died. Chapter 2808. That's the 5 Evils Dragon. It's the master of the 5 Evils Savage Land. The beautiful woman was a little shy at first, but when it came to serious matters, she regained her composure and explained to Lin Yi. The 5 Evils Dragon. Could it be a 5 elemental spirit beast? Lin Yi asked. That's right. You should be able to tell from the skills it uses. The beautiful woman nodded. Oh, so you're saying that you're a practitioner of all 5 elements as well? Lin Yi pretended to ask casually. The beautiful woman's expression tightened slightly, but she still nodded and said, I'm a 4 elemental cultivator and 1 virtual elemental cultivator. Do you know about the 5 elemental cultivator and the virtual elemental cultivator? I know a little. Lin Yi nodded. He suddenly understood and was very surprised. This beautiful woman was a 4 elemental cultivator and 1 virtual elemental cultivator? Wasn't she too powerful? Let's not talk about this. Oh, right. What's your name? Are you also a trial taker participating in the Heavenly Elixir Sex trial? The beautiful woman didn't want to talk about her own problems. When she saw Lin Yi's surprised expression, she changed the topic. Lin Yi didn't hide it. There was no way to hide it. Other than the trial takers, is there anyone else here? That's true. The beautiful woman nodded. She reached into her bag and took out a spiritual herb. She handed it to Lin Yi and said, This is the spiritual herb I promised you. It's needed for this trial. Oh, then I won't stand on ceremony. Lin Yi nodded and accepted it. What's your name? Which sector you from? My name is Tian Chan. I'm a loose cultivator. The beautiful woman hesitated for a moment before saying her name. However, she lied about her sect. Right now, her sect should have some conflict with Lin Yi. She didn't know why, but Tian Chan didn't want too much estrangement between her and Lin Yi. Perhaps she didn't want him to feel that he had saved an enemy. That was what Tian Chan thought. Tian Chan? This area is built next to the water, and every family has its own shadow, just like its name. Lin Yi looked at Tian Chan and said, emotionally. Tian Chan blushed. How could she not hear that Lin Yi was praising her beauty? Since she was a child, no one had ever praised her as a beauty. At this time, being praised by Lin Yi, Tian Chan couldn't help but feel a little shy. Oh, right. Why did you come to the 5 Fiends mountain range? Tian Chan changed the topic and asked. She was a little curious as to why Lin Yi would come to the peak of the 5 Fiends mountain range. Oh, I went to look for treasures. Lin Yi didn't hide it and told the truth. If he randomly came up with a reason, Tian Chan wouldn't believe him. Treasure hunt? Tian Chan was stunned. Oh, this is it. Lin Yi took out the Essence Energy Inner Core and showed it to Tian Chan. Essence Energy Inner Core. You actually found this thing? Tian Chan was stunned. She didn't expect Lin Yi's luck to be so good. He actually found a spirit beast's Essence Energy Inner Core. You know what this thing is used for? Lin Yi didn't expect Tian Chan to recognize it at a glance. When Tian Chan heard Lin Yi's question, she couldn't help but be stunned. She hesitated for a moment, but still said it can be made into a protective necklace. However, it needs a blacksmith. Are you a blacksmith? Lin Yi asked. Tian Chan pursed her lips and nodded. You can say that. However, I've never forged anything before. Why don't you help me forge one? Lin Yi smiled and made a joke. One is not enough. I need at least 5. Tian Chan said. Moreover, after this trial, I will return to my sect. You and I probably won't meet again. Which sect are you from? Maybe we'll meet again in the future. Lin Yi asked. Tian Chan hesitated for a moment and became silent. She didn't want to lie to Lin Yi, but she also didn't want to reveal her sect. The Heavenly Elixir sect and Lin Yi still had a lot of hatred. Tian Chan didn't want to destroy their relationship because of her sect. As for why she cared so much about their relationship, Tian Chan didn't know. If it was in the past, she would definitely kill Lin Yi. But now, she didn't have this thought. Forget it. Let's not talk about this. Tian Chan's silence made Lin Yi slightly surprised. However, he didn't ask further. Even if Tian Chan didn't say, Lin Yi could guess her origin. If she really came from the Five Elements sect, it was normal for her to hide her sect's origin. Oh, yes. Why did you come to the Five Fiends mountain range? I came to do something special, Tian Chan said. Did you succeed? Lin Yi asked. I don't know yet. Tian Chan shook her head. Thinking about what happened before, she was a little confused. Lin Yi knew that the two of them weren't familiar. Even if he was Tian Chan's savior, Tian Chan might not tell him the truth, and she might not tell him her purpose of coming here. After all, Lin Yi guessed that Tian Chan might be here to accept the inheritance. However, according to Boss Bai's words, the inheritance of origin power was different from the inheritance of perception. Every time the inheritance of origin power was passed down, only one person could successfully accept the inheritance. If he successfully accepted the inheritance, then Tian Chan should have failed to accept the inheritance. In this way, Tian Chan's previous preparation gave Lin Yi a ready-made advantage. If Tian Chan knew that Lin Yi accepted the inheritance, would she be so angry that she would kill him? Thinking of this, Lin Yi decided not to continue on this topic. Otherwise, if Tian Chan realized it, he would be in danger. After all, Boss Bai had said before that in order to accept the inheritance of origin power, a series of complicated preparations must be made. Before, Tian Chan might have already made the preparations, and now the inheritance might have failed. It was just that she herself didn't know it yet. As for Lin Yi, if it weren't for the fact that the art of dragon mastery suddenly broke through to the second level, Lin Yi probably wouldn't think that he had already accepted the inheritance, because on the surface, it was hard to tell whether he had accepted the inheritance or not. How do we get out of here? This cliff is really high. How are we going to get up? Lin Yi suddenly thought of the most important question, which was how the two of them could leave from here. Being reminded by Lin Yi, Tian Chan raised her head and found the situation of the two of them. A touch of worry flashed in her eyes. Tian Chan looked around, and the worry on her face became more intense. After a while, she said, "It seems that we can't go up." Chapter 2809. One must know that the jumping height of a heaven rank expert was not on the same level as an earth rank expert. Even if Lin Yi's Qigong was good, it did not mean that he could jump higher than a heaven rank expert. He could only run as fast as a heaven rank expert. This place is very high. With my jumping height, I can't jump up at all. Tian Chan looked at the cliff and shook her head. The worry in her eyes deepened. Then, why don't we go up from here and keep walking along the mountain? Lin Yi asked. There must be an end to this mountain, right? And maybe not. Even if there is, there might be other dangers. Tian Chan shook her head. I know this place better than you. The other side of the Five Fiends mountain is a dead end. Dead end? Lin Yi looked at Tian Chan in shock. That means other than going back from here, there is no way out. That's right. Legend has it that the Five Fiends mountain is a dividing line. On the other side of the Five Fiends mountain lives a higher-level spiritual beast, the legendary heavenly beast. Tian Chan said, the Five Fiends mountain range is where the previous spiritual beast kings of the land of five evils reside. When it successfully ascends to the heavenly Tao, it will give up the Five Fiends mountain range to the successor, who is the new spiritual beast king of the land of five evils. The old spiritual beast king that ascends to the heavenly Tao will cross the Five Fiends mountain range and go to the other side of the mountain range. Lin Yi was speechless. Originally, Lin Yi was hoping that there was a way out in the endless distance, but it seemed that there was no hope now. Since Tian Chan could come here to receive the inheritance, she must know this place better than him. Previously, a spiritual beast with the strength of a heaven-rank late-stage spiritual beast had already put them in a difficult situation. If they continued to walk forward and encountered a bunch of heavenly beasts, it would be equivalent to courting death. Linny would rather wait for death here. It was better to go there and die. Then, there is no other way, Lin Yi said helplessly as he looked at the precipitous cliff in front of him. He never thought that he would be trapped in a valley one day. I can't think of anything for now. Tian-chan shook her head and frowned. No one knew what she was thinking. If we don't go out, will someone come looking for us? Lin Yi actually wanted to ask if anyone had come looking for Tian-chan. Since she was here to receive the inheritance, then she should be a very important figure in the Five Elements sect. It was impossible for the Five Elements sect to ignore her, right? I don't think so. Tian-chan shook her head. I'm not sure either. All right, are you hungry? I'll make something to eat, and then we'll think of a way. Lin Yi asked. It's okay, I'm a sky class, so I don't need to eat. Tian-chan shook her head. But I don't have any pure chi left in my body, so I'm a little hungry. Then I'll go find something to eat. Lin Yi couldn't think of a good way to leave at the moment. He could only look for something to eat. He wasn't as familiar with the terrain as Tian-chan was. And if Tian-chan said there was no way, then there was no way. So, the only thing Lin Yi was considering was if he could climb up the precipitous cliff and not leave from another direction. Skybolt Pig, is there anything good to eat here? Lin Yi turned to Skybolt Pig and asked, Ha! This is Skybolt Pig. Tian-chan heard Lin Yi's words and focused on Skybolt Pig. She was a little surprised. You know Skybolt Pig? Lin Yi was startled. He didn't think that Tian-chan would know about Skybolt Pig. Yeah, I've read about it before. The elixir god Zhongliju's contracted spirit beast. Why is it with you? Tian-chan paused and remembered that Lin Yi had been to Zhongliju's tomb before, so it wasn't surprising that he had Zhongliju's contracted spirit beast. Haha, it was a coincidence that this little guy followed me. Lin Yi rubbed Skybolt Pig's head and didn't say much. He and Tian-chan seemed to be getting along well, but they were both holding back. Everyone had their own secrets, secrets that couldn't be told. I see. I heard that this little guy knows how to hunt for treasures. Is that true? Tian-chan asked. It's true, and it was this little guy who brought me here to find this essence energy core. Lin Yi said, honestly. Oink oink. Skybolt Pig nodded proudly. It's so cute, can I hug it? Tian-chan didn't think that she would meet Skybolt Pig here. This was her Grandmaster's contracted spirit beast, and Tian-chan felt that she would be affected by her Grandmaster's spiritual energy just by hugging it. Sure, but this little guy is shy. But before Lin Yi could finish, Skybolt Pig jumped into Tian-chan's arms. This made Lin Yi speechless. Are you two from the same family? What's with this little guy? Same family? Tian-chan froze. Our surname is Tian. Lin Yi smiled. You're the one from the same family as the pig. Tian-chan rolled her eyes at Lin Yi. She was extremely charming, and Lin Yi couldn't help but hold his breath. Ha ha. Lin Yi laughed. It seems to like me very much. Tian-chan found that Skybolt Pig was very close to her. Still, I can't give it to you, Lin Yi said. Stingy. Tian-chan returned Skybolt Pig to Lin Yi. However, after Tian-chan said this, she felt a bit strange. She actually had such a coquettish side. Was it because he saw her body? Or was it because he didn't know where he would go tomorrow, at the bottom of this cliff? Ha! Lin Yi took Skybolt Pig and said, Let's go find something to eat. Oink oink. Skybolt Pig seemed to be a bit hungry and excitedly ran in a direction with Lin Yi. Tian-chan wanted to follow, but she thought that her body was very tired. She didn't have a trace of physical strength. At this time, she shouldn't waste her physical strength. It would be better for her to sit down and cultivate for a while. So, Lin Yi left. Tian Chan sat on the ground and began to absorb the heaven and earth Ling Qi. The five evils Qi here was a nightmare for other cultivators, but for Tian Chan, it was a rare place to cultivate. The heaven and earth Ling Qi here was very pure. Although it was of the five attributes, she was also a cultivator of the five attributes. The five evils Qi here would not have any adverse effect on her. Lin Yi followed Skybolt Pig all the way to a natural pond. Skybolt Pig used his claws to point at the pond, and then oink oink twice. Chapter 28:10. However, after Lin Yi stood there for a while, he discovered that there wasn't a trace of true qi fluctuation in the pond. There shouldn't be any spirit beasts here. Gigi. The Skybolt Pig was drooling. Lin Yi was helpless. He rolled up his pants and walked to the edge of the pond. However, Lin Yi discovered that there were a lot of fish in the pond. Perhaps it was because there weren't any spirit beasts or people here all year round. The pond was already full of fish. Moreover, they were all very fat. Lin Yi casually reached out his hand and caught a few big fish. Lin Yi threw the fish on the shore and grabbed a few more. Then he went ashore and brought the Skybolt Pig back to the original place. There, he saw Tian Chan sitting cross-legged with her eyes closed, cultivating. Lin Yi was slightly surprised. Then he immediately thought of Tian Chan's attributes. She was also a cultivator of the five attributes, so it was normal for her to be able to use the five evils qi to cultivate. However, this five evils qi wasn't very useful for Lin Yi. Although the five evils qi here was very pure, it wasn't as pure as the true qi in the space inside the jade pendant. Lin Yi could only cultivate normally here. Tian Chan, do you want to eat fish? Lin Yi asked. You're back. Tian Chan quickly recovered from her cultivation state. She discovered that she was too immersed in her cultivation. In the past, it didn't matter when she was in the sect because no one could harm her. Therefore, when Tian Chan was cultivating, she wasn't vigilant at all. But here, if Lin Yi wanted to harm her, then she would really fall into his trap. However, Tian Chan had a second thought. If Lin Yi really wanted to harm her, then why did Lin Yi save her? At that time, he could have just given her a palm, and she would have died. Why would he wait until now? Therefore, Tian Chan felt that she was thinking too much. There was no need to guard against Lin Yi. Well, I only found fish here. I'm going to grill it. Do you want to eat it? Lin Yi asked. Let's eat. Tian Chan showed an expectant expression. I haven't eaten for a long time. Hee. Lin Yi laughed and said, if you want to eat, come and help me. There are no dead branches here. Help? Tian Chan was taken aback. How? You are a five-elemental cultivator, so you should also be an alchemist, right? Condensed Dan fire to roast fish. As Lin Yi spoke, he placed the fish on the ground in order. Then he condensed an alchemic fire and began to roast them. So, this works too? Tian Chan found it a little novel. In the sect, she had never used the elixir fire to roast fish. She had never even cooked dishes by herself, so she didn't know that the elixir fire could also be used to roast. I can tell that you are a socialite. You are naturally different from individual cultivators like us. Under all the harsh conditions, you have to rely on yourself to create the conditions, Lin Yi said with a smile. Yes, it's fortunate that I met you. Otherwise, I'm afraid I would have been buried under this cliff this time. Tian Chan said with a sigh. According to Patriarch Xianchen, there shouldn't be any danger for her to come here. However, who would have thought that the five evils dragon would return to the cave so early, causing her to experience such a thrilling scene? If it weren't for Lin Yi who helped her heal, even if she had 100 recover pills, she wouldn't have been able to eat them. Tian Chan followed Lin Yi's example and condensed the elixir fire to roast fish. With the two of them roasting together, the process was naturally much faster. In the blink of an eye, The roast fish emitted a fragrant aroma. Tian-chan was really a little hungry. After the roast fish was done, she couldn't wait to take a big bite. However, she felt that it wasn't ladylike enough. She blushed and lowered her head to eat the fish in small bites. However, she wasn't used to it. If you're hungry, then eat it. There are only the two of us here. You don't have to care too much about those etiquettes, Linny said. Although Tian-chan heard Lin Yi's words, she still ate the roast fish in a very polite manner. Lin Yi smiled and didn't say anything else. He picked up a roast fish and threw it to Skybolt Pig. As for Lin Yi, because he had just broken through to the second level of the art of dragon mastery, he didn't feel hungry at all. Skybolt Pig caught the roast fish and ate it in big bites. There was a total of 6 roast fish. Skybolt Pig ate 2, and the remaining 4 went into Tian-chan's stomach. When Tian-chan finished eating, she realized that she actually ate 6 roast fish. This made her a little embarrassed. It's okay. We're all cultivators. It's okay to eat a little more. Lin Yi smiled. It would have been better if Lin Yi didn't say it. After hearing it, Tian-chan became even more embarrassed. She glared at Lin Yi and said, "You still dare to say it? I'll kick you." Hee. Lin Yi smiled. He felt that the beautiful girl in front of him was very cute. Although she was a peak late-stage heaven-class expert, her mind was a little pure. It seemed that she wasn't that old. Lin Yi knew that heaven-class experts could maintain their appearance forever. Although they couldn't live forever, they could still maintain the appearance they had when they broke through to the heaven class. Although Tian-chan looked like she was 17 or 18 years old, she might actually be 40 or 50 years old. But from her current reaction, she shouldn't be that old. "How old are you this year?" Lin Yi asked. 19. How about you?" Tian-chan was embarrassed. Lin Yi changed the topic, and she was happy to answer. "Oh, I'm just 1 year older than you," Lin Yi said, "but you're actually a peak late-stage heaven-class expert at such a young age. It's really rare. It seems that your sex strength isn't weak. It's all right." Tian-chan didn't seem to be willing to talk about her sex matters. She didn't answer Lin Yi's question directly. Lin Yi saw that Tian-chan didn't want to talk about it, so he didn't say anything else. The only topic between the two of them was each other's sect, cultivation methods, and martial skills, but these things were confidential. If Tian-chan didn't say it, Lin Yi couldn't ask. As for other common things, he really didn't know what to say. After all, the two of them weren't very familiar with each other, and they didn't understand each other. Lin Yi raised his head and looked at the steep cliff. He was thinking about a way to leave this place. Staying here was not a solution. Although Lin Yi felt that the 5 evils chi shouldn't have any effect on him, he couldn't live here forever, right? Although living here with a beautiful woman like Tian-chan was a very enviable thing, Lin Yi had more important things to do. There's no foothold on this cliff, but when you jump, can't you use your hands and feet to make a dent on the cliff and use it as a foothold? Lin Yi suggested after carefully studying the cliff. Chapter 28:11. Then she continued, "You should have seen it before. When I was fighting with the dragon of 5 evils, our martial skills collided with each other. Although it produced a very powerful force, its cave didn't suffer any damage." Yes, Lin Yi was suddenly startled. Only now did he realize that something was wrong. The dragon of 5 evils had collided with Tian-chan's martial skills, and the resulting force was almost equivalent to Lin Yi's Jin Qi bomb. However, the cave of the dragon of 5 evils was not damaged at all. Moreover, Lin Yi's Jin Qi bomb had been able to explode the rocks in the Wulong mountain range and at the school gate. In that case, it seems that my proposal won't work. Lin Yi smiled helplessly. It's not impossible. I can use my martial skill to create a depression in the mountain rock and then grab it. But with my ability, even if I have enough physical strength and true chi, I can only use my strongest martial skill 3 times. And with the height of my jump, if I want to jump to the top of the mountain, I will have to jump at least 20 times. I can't hold on for that long. Tian-chan shook her head helplessly and said, "Your proposal is feasible in theory, but it won't work in practice." "But what if you recover your physical strength and Jin Qi for a while after 3 times?" Lin Yi's heart moved, and he suddenly asked, "My hands and feet are clasped on the cliff. How can I use the mnemonic chant in that kind of tense state? I have to use all of my strength to concentrate on clasping the cliff with my hands and feet." Tian-chan shook her head and said, "Otherwise, I will accidentally fall and die. Moreover, my mnemonic chant can only be used when I sit cross-legged and meditate." Lin Yi nodded. Tian-chan was right. Lin Yi's mantra didn't require him to sit cross-legged and meditate. However, what Tian-chan said was right. At that time, all his attention would be placed on the cliff with his hands and feet. How would he be able to meditate? The slightest bit of relaxation and distraction would cause one to fall to their death. This method was still flawed. Lin Yi originally wanted to cooperate with Tian-chan Lin. It would transfer physical strength and true qi to Tian-chan, and Tian-chan would only need to circulate the inner force chant. However, the current situation was that Tian-chan could not circulate the inner force chant while holding onto the cliff. "I have a way." Lin Yi hesitated and said, "You have a way." Tian-chan was slightly taken aback. "And I have a martial technique called Heavenly Spring Rain. It can consume my own physical strength and true qi to quickly restore my teammates' physical strength and true qi." Lin Yi said, "At that time, you don't need to circulate the inner force chant. Just focus on holding onto the cliff, and I can restore your physical strength and true qi." Heavenly Spring Rain. Ha! Isn't this the martial technique of the everyday? An everyday sect? You actually know it? Tian-chan was slightly taken aback, but she had obviously heard of this martial technique. Really? Lin Yi was also taken aback. He didn't expect this martial technique to be passed down from the everyday and everyday sect. "I got this martial technique from a friend. It doesn't have much to do with the everyday and everyday sect." "You really have a lot of powerful martial techniques. Before, your true qi could heal my injuries. Now, your true qi can also be used by me. You have quite a lot of secrets." At this moment, Tian-chan felt that it wasn't a coincidence that Lin Yi had a foothold in the hidden realm and began to attack the ancient realm, but Lin Yi really had the strength to do so. However, Tian-chan was very curious. How did a rogue cultivator reach this step? Tian-chan decided that after going back, she would carefully investigate Lin Yi's growth. This was the first time she was so curious about a person. Then can you keep it a secret for me?" Tian-chan knew too many of Lin Yi's secrets. Although the two of them seemed to have a good relationship, it was based on the situation where the two of them couldn't leave this place. Once the two of them left this place and separated, Lin Yi was also afraid that Tian-chan would be pressured by the sect to say something. At that time, his secrets would be exposed. "Okay." Tian-chan unexpectedly nodded and agreed to Lin Yi's request. After agreeing, Tian-chan felt that it was inconceivable. "I actually agreed to keep it a secret for him. Is it because he saved me before? Perhaps I'm not someone who doesn't know how to repay kindness." "Thank you." Lin Yi didn't know why, but he also believed Tian-chan's words. He always felt that there was an indescribable connection and trust between the two of them. As for what exactly it was, Lin Yi also didn't know. "Now, let's think about how to leave this place. Although you have the Heavenly Spring Rain martial skill, even so, it will be difficult for us to leave this place." Tian-chan shook her head and said, "First of all, even if you can use martial skills to help me recover my physical strength, you can only recover once or twice, but can you recover a third time? I'm an expert with the strength of the peak late stage of Heaven stage. First of all, I have more physical strength and true chi than you. Even if you give me all the physical strength and true chi in your body, I can only jump 2 more times. It won't play a decisive role. Moreover, there are 2 of us. How can we jump up together? Your 2 worries are actually not a problem. Linny waved his hand and said, First of all, I can recover my physical strength and continue to use martial skills. Second, you can tie me behind you so that when you jump up, you can bring me along. You recover physical strength and true chi? Tian-chan was stunned. How long will it take to recover? As far as I know, after continuously using martial skills, after using the body's physical strength and true chi, it is impossible to recover without a period of cultivation, right? I will be fine in a while. Linny smiled. Look at me. Just now, I healed myself, healed you, and grilled fish. I used up a lot of physical strength and true chi. But now, my physical strength and true chi are full. Tian-chan was shocked and looked at Lin-yi in surprise. Lin-yi, on the other hand, deliberately operated the mantra, making Tian-chan feel an obvious feeling of energy. After a while, Tian-chan said, You are really amazing. There are not many people who can make me admire, but you are one of them. If it weren't for the fact that we are going through thick and thin together, I wouldn't have told you so many secrets. Lin-yi shrugged. What do you think of my suggestion? Chapter 28:12. In the past, Tian-chan wouldn't have agreed at all. She didn't have much physical contact with the opposite sex. But now it was different. The 2 of them were in a hopeless situation, and if they didn't do this, they wouldn't be able to escape. Plus, Lin-yi had seen things he shouldn't have seen, touched things he shouldn't have touched, and Tian-chan's immunity towards him, it was all him anyways. And Tian-chan's resistance wasn't as strong anymore. All right, Tian-chan finally nodded. I don't know how long it's been. Lin-yi had broken through in the jade space, and with the inheritance from the origin, he didn't know how long it had been. He wondered how Zhao Qi-kun and the others were doing. What's wrong? Do you have friends who are participating in the trial outside? Yeah, I wonder how they're doing. Linny said worriedly. Tian-chan was silent after listening to Lin-yi's words. She knew the nature of the Sky Elixir School's test. The practitioners who came here were basically sending themselves to death. Although it was cruel, Tian-chan couldn't do anything about it. Even her master couldn't do anything about it. She couldn't do anything about it. She could only let it be. But she couldn't say this to Lin-yi, so she changed the topic. How do I tie you to me? There aren't any ropes or anything like that here. Ugh. Lin-yi looked around, and other than a bloody fingernail, there was nothing else. Lin-yi's eyes finally landed on Tian-chan's chest, as if he wanted to say something, but he didn't. Tian-chan felt uncomfortable being stared at by Lin-yi. What are you looking at? Your chest, the yellow cloth. Lin-yi said, Then what about my chest? Tian-chan glared at Lin-yi and said angrily, Should I show it to you? I'm behind you, so I can't see it. Lin-yi sweated and said, Besides, didn't I see it before? There's only the 2 of us here. Once we reach the top of the mountain, you can go back, right? Tian-chan felt a little embarrassed to do so. After all, this was different from when Lin-yi healed her. However, thinking about it, Lin-yi was right. There were only the 2 of them in this mountain range. Lin-yi had seen and touched it. In order to go up smoothly, Lin-yi's suggestion was acceptable. However, Tian-chan felt that it was a little inappropriate. Besides, your clothes are so long, it can't be exposed, right? At most, it'll be faintly visible. Look at those car models on TV. There's so much exposed. Lin-yi said while the iron was hot, I'll kick you to death. I don't want to become famous. Tian-chan pretended to kick Lin-yi, but Lin-yi's words made her relax a little. She rolled her eyes at Lin-yi and said, How am I supposed to take it off if you look at me? Ha ha, I'll just treat it as watching you dance. Lin E smiled. I think you're looking for a kick. You're just a small Earth class late phase. How dare you talk to a Sky class late phase peak like this? Aren't you afraid that I'll kill you in one hit? Tian Chan looked at Lin E with disdain. Ha, I can kill Sky class in one hit too. Lin E smiled. Zhang Naipeo brought 2 Sky class mid-phase followers. I killed one of them. Ah, you can kill Sky class mid-phase already? Tian Chan paused and looked at Lin E in shock. What do you mean by already? Did you know that I could do it in the past? Lin E paused as well. No, I was just shocked. Tian Chan was a little shocked. She didn't know that Zhang Naipeo's followers were killed in one hit. She just didn't expect Lin E to be this strong. Then you're still not my opponent. I can kill Sky class mid-phase in one hit too. Then kill me. Let's not go up. Lin E said. You think I don't dare? Tian Chan raged. Why aren't you turning around? Ha! Lin E smiled and turned around. He had a strange feeling in his heart. Rock Candy was also a Sky class late phase peak, but when she was with Lin E, she always treated Lin E with a cold attitude. But Tian Chan was different. Although she was a master, her personality was like a little girl. Lin E felt very happy when he was with her. Tian Chan hesitated for a moment. She untied the yellow silk on her chest and then carefully pulled the neckline to prevent her breasts from being exposed. However, it was impossible. The shape of the clothes was there. Tian Chan could only try to cover her body with the clothes. However, this kind of looming temptation gave Tian Chan a headache. All right, you can turn around now. Tian Chan couldn't come up with a solution after a long time. So she called out to him, Are you deliberately seducing me? Lin E looked at Tian Chan and said, Don't you know that this kind of feeling makes men go crazy? If you say it again, I will kick you into a eunuch. Tian Chan looked at Lin E coldly and said, If you say it again, I will tell you a story about killing the donkey after it has outlived its usefulness. Let's go up the cliff and settle the account. Okay. Lin E stopped smiling. He remembered that although the one in front of him was a beautiful woman, she was also a Sky class late phase peak expert. She was an existence that could destroy him at any time. Now, I will wrap the yellow silk around us. Help me. Okay. Tian Chan nodded. She looked at Lin E standing behind her nervously. Her delicate body trembled a little. She wanted Lin E not to get too close to her. But thinking about it, how could they be tied if they were too far away? What if they fell off halfway? If she wanted it to be sturdy, she had to be close to her body. Lin E took a deep breath. The smell of Tian Chan's body was very good. He didn't know if it was the fragrance of the shower gel or her own body fragrance. It made Lin E have an impulse to kiss her. He carefully stood behind Tian Chan. Lin Yi's heavy breath blew on Tian Chan's neck, giving her a strange feeling. It was a little itchy and a little uncomfortable. She couldn't help but say, You don't blow on me. I am breathing normally. If I don't, I will die. Lin E said helplessly. Then turn your head. Tian Chan couldn't stand it and said, Okay. Lin E tilted his head, but his body was directly attached to Tian Chan's body. Tian Chan's delicate body trembled, and she almost screamed. However, it was fine if Tian Chan didn't move. Once she moved, Lin E inevitably had a physiological reaction. Chapter 28:13. I'm an Earth class. Where would I get a weapon? Lin E smiled bitterly, not knowing how to explain. All right, we'll just tie the yellow silk around our bodies. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. Tian Chan panicked as she saw Lin E trying to change the topic. She reached out to grab it, but realized that something wasn't right. Her face flushed red, from her neck to her ears. She pulled her hand back as if she was electrocuted. You pervert. How is this pervert? Lin E couldn't help but smile bitterly. This is a natural reflex. It means that you're pretty and I'm attracted to you. If you looked like the 5 Malefic Dragon, it'd be weird if I had a reaction. You're the 5 Malefic Dragon. Tian-chan was embarrassed, but Lin Yi complimenting her beauty made her feel good. Which girl didn't like compliments? Especially when Tian-chan was in the sect. She didn't have a chance like this at all. Ha ha, all right, don't move. It'll be done in a while. We'll use the yellow silk to tie us up, Lin Yi said. All right then. Tian-chan felt uncomfortable with something poking at her back, but she had to act like she didn't feel anything in order to get back to the peak safely. She took the yellow silk from Lin Yi and wrapped it around her body before giving it back to Lin Yi. Lin Yi took the silk and wrapped it around himself as well before giving it to Tian-chan. The two did this a few times, and finally they became one person. It was quite similar to when Lin Yi was carrying Xiao Xiao in the ice palace. Done. Lin Yi tied a knot on the rope, making sure it wouldn't loosen. He turned to Tian-chan. It's done now. Okay, then I'll prepare to jump. Is there anything else you need to do? Tian-chan asked. GG. The Sky Thunder Pig pointed at the nail of the 5 Evils dragon on the ground. Are you saying that this is a good thing? Lin Yi was slightly stunned. Previously, he thought that the nails of the 5 Evils dragon were useless, so he casually threw them aside. But looking at the Sky Thunder Pig, it seemed to be a treasure? GG. The Heavenly Thunder Pig nodded. It's right. Every part of the dragon of 5 Evils is a treasure. Tian-chan explained, this nail belongs to the Earth attribute. It's a heavenly treasure that can strengthen the physique of Earth attribute cultivators. However, it's useless to me. Oh, since it's useful, let's bring it back. Lin Yi said to the Skybolt Pig. Pick it up and carry it on my back. We are leaving. GG. The Skybolt Pig quickly ran over and picked up the nail with his mouth. Then he jumped onto Lin Yi's body and grabbed onto Lin Yi with all 4 of his limbs. Okay, that's enough. Let's go up. Lin Yi said to Tian-chan. Tian-chan nodded and took a deep breath. Then she said to Lin Yi, then I'll prepare to jump. Be careful. Okay. Lin Yi was tied up by the yellow silk, so he didn't need to hold on to Tian-chan's body. However, his lower body was pressed against Tian-chan, which made Lin Yi blush. However, the more he thought about it, the more he couldn't calm down. This made Lin Yi a little embarrassed, so he could only try not to think about it. Tian-chan couldn't do anything about it. She channeled the mantra and suddenly leaped up towards the cliff. Then she pushed out her palms and slammed them against the cliff with all her might. Lin Yi could see that this should be the 5 elements Baguazhang, which was also Tian-chan's strongest move. Although Lin Yi wanted to secretly learn it, he also knew that even if he asked Tian-chan, she wouldn't tell him. Just like how Tian-chan didn't ask why he could heal her. Even if he asked, she wouldn't tell him. Boom. Tian-chan used a lot of strength, but what she left on the cliff was only a shallow mark. It was barely enough for Tian-chan to hold on and prevent her from falling. Then, Tian-chan kicked hard on the cliff with both of her feet. Similarly, she only kicked a shallow mark on the cliff so that she could temporarily hang there. Lin Yi, I can't do it. When I was dealing with the 5 Evils dragon, my physical strength and true chi were almost used up. I just ate something and it was better, but after I used this move, my body has no physical strength and true chi at all. Tian-chan hurriedly said to Lin Yi, I can't hold on for long. This position is very uncomfortable. Quickly help me replenish my physical strength and true chi. Okay, Lin Yi did not dare to be negligent. He hurriedly used the mantra of the heavenly spring rain. However, it was still a bit difficult for Lin Yi to use this position, but he finally succeeded. Heavenly Spring Rain, the 5th move. The first move of the Heavenly Spring Rain could transfer true chi to one person. The second move could transfer true chi to 2 people. And the 5th move could transfer true chi to 5 people. Right now, there was only Tian-chan beside Lin Yi. Using the fifth move was equivalent to transferring 5 portions of true qi to Tianchan at the same time. This way, the physical strength and true qi in Lin Yi's body could be transferred to Tianchan quickly. On Lin Yi's hands, a light blue mist of true qi suddenly appeared. Then, as Lin Yi activated the martial skill, the light blue true qi suddenly left Lin Yi's hands and floated in the air. Then, like spring rain, it poured into Tianchan's body. In an instant, Tianchan felt that her physical strength and true qi were quickly restored. It didn't take long for Lin Yi's physical strength and true qi to completely enter Tianchan's body, and Lin Yi became a weak person. "It's really magical," Tianchan said with a sigh. "I really didn't expect this martial skill to be so magical. My physical strength and true qi suddenly became a lot more abundant. Although it's not at its peak, it's not a problem to jump 2 more times." "That's good." After using the heavenly spring rain, Lin Yi didn't care about anything else. He quickly entered the Jade Space and activated the second stage of the art of dragon mastery to recover the physical strength and true qi that he had lost. After resting for a while, Tianchan jumped up again, this time to a higher altitude. She activated the 5 elements 8 trigrams palm, and so on behind the 5 Fiends Mountains, the 5 Fiends Barren Grounds. Naipeo was very lucky the place he was teleported to was the closest to a safe place. Chapter 28:14. This safe place was marked out on the map, but any practitioner with a bit of intelligence could tell that it was a natural moat. It didn't matter if it was a beast or a bird, they wouldn't be able to get in here. Spirit beasts were usually bigger, and they didn't have much attack power. As long as a practitioner hid here, no spirit beast would be able to harm them. Mo Ba found this place pretty quickly. The two met up on the first night of the test. "Gunslinger, did you get the elixir for the test?" Mo Ba asked. "No, there's none nearby, and I didn't look for it." "Wait, this place is pretty obvious. It won't be long before other practitioners find their way here, and we'll just take it for ourselves then," Naipeo said faintly. "You're right, with Gunslinger's abilities and skills, he wouldn't need to go find it himself at all. Only an idiot would go find it himself." Mo Ba said respectfully. "Let's rest for a bit," Naipeo said faintly. "The chi here is quite thick. I'll train for a bit." "Gunslinger, didn't they say that the 5's malevolence is harmful to practitioners?" "Why are you?" Mo Ba said, startled. "Haha, look at what kind of arts I'm practicing. My wasp absorption arts. What chi can't, I absorb. As long as it's chi. It doesn't matter if it's 5's malevolence chi or even poison." Naipeo laughed casually. "This place is perfect for me to train, and I'll take some time to consolidate my strength." And so Naipeo trained while Mo Ba stood guard beside him. Their luck wasn't that good, however, as they didn't see a single practitioner the whole time. Mo Ba couldn't help but panic. "Liang bro, something's not right. We've been waiting for so long. Why haven't we seen a single practitioner?" "How long has it been?" "Let's wait. There's no need to rush," Naipeo said calmly. Naipeo hadn't even finished his words when he heard voices coming from outside the safe place. Someone was coming. "Master Yang, we're really lucky there's a place here that looks pretty good. We can avoid the attacks of spirit beasts," the person outside said. "Indeed, we can hide here and rest for a while before rushing to the teleportation array," the person called Young Hero Yang said. He was an expert from the Flame Mountain and was a peak mid-stage heaven rank expert. The one who spoke to him was an Earth-class mid-phase master from the Dark Palace, and the other one who didn't speak was also an Earth-class early-phase master from the Dark Palace. Both of them were just there to carry Young Hero Yang's shoes, but following behind a peak heaven-class mid-phase master could greatly reduce the danger. Look, they had met a mystic-class spirit beast earlier, and it was beaten away by Young Hero Yang. Although they didn't have much of an advantage, if these two Earth-class masters from the Dark Palace went up against it, then even if they didn't die, they would be heavily injured. Moreover, with young Hero Yang's protection, they were able to successfully collect the Trials elixir. Although there was only one for each of them, it was already very good. If the two of them were to act alone, they might not be able to collect the elixir, and might even lose their lives. After you, young Hero Yang, disciple A said, and made a gesture of invitation. Young Hero Yang nodded and led the way into the safe area. However, he paused when he went in. He saw Naipeo and his follower Mo Ba here as well. But young Hero Yang wasn't too afraid. As far as he was concerned, he was a sky-class mid-phase peak after all, and as long as he didn't provoke Naipeo, then Zhang Naipeo wouldn't do anything to him. The two disciples from the Dark Palace followed young Hero Yang in, and they too paused when they saw Naipeo. They were a little fearful, but remembering that Naipeo was only a sky-class early phase, and his follower Mo Ba mid-phase, while young Hero Yang was a sky-class mid-phase peak, they calmed down. The three of you seem to be very satisfied with your harvest? Mo Ba grinned, and suddenly asked the three of them, "What do you mean?" Disciple B turned around, a little wary. "It's nothing hand over the elixir, and Gunslinger will let you live." Mo Ba said faintly, "Hand it over? Why?" Disciple B was startled. He came with a mission this time. He needed to get a chi-gathering pill from the Sky Elixir sect, allowing the sect master to level up from Earth-class late-phase peak to Sky-class early phase. This was the last chance. And while the chi-gathering pill had its drawbacks, the drawbacks would disappear once the inheritance was mastered, and there would be no more barriers to leveling up. The time for that plan was getting closer and closer, and if the Dark Palace wanted a piece of the pie, they had to hurry. The problem now was that the sect master Yi, Wan hadn't broken through to Sky class yet, and the higher the strength, the higher the chance of mastering the inheritance. The Dark Palace had no other choice but to resort to this. Why? Because Gunslinger can decide your life and death. Mo Ba humphed coldly. If Gunslinger wants you to live, you'll live. If he wants you to die, you'll die. Aren't you being too overbearing? Disciple B couldn't help but say. Overbearing? From the moment you stepped into the ranks of practitioners, you should know what it means to be the strong preying on the weak. Isn't it a little too late to talk about overbearing now? Mo Ba said with disdain. All right, we're all here for the test, and I don't want to hurt our friends. Our Gunslinger's principle is hand over the item, and we won't kill you. If you want to live, then do it quickly. If you want to die, then I won't stop you. You. Disciple B was about to say something when the other disciple A pulled him back. He gestured to Disciple B to see what young Warrior Yang had to say. The strongest person here was young Warrior Yang, and the two of them were only Earth classes. They didn't have much say here. Hero Yang, you mean? Dark Palace disciple A looked at Fire Mountain's Hero Yang. Zhang Naipeo, don't push yourself. If we really fight, I'm not scared of you. I'm a Sky-class mid-phase peak, different from that 2 Junwang early phase peak. Yang was quite pissed as well. He'd been flattered by the first and second disciples on the way here, and now that he was being robbed by Naipeo, it was only natural that he wasn't happy about it. Especially in front of his two followers, how could he back down? You're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.